And I hit the start streaming button.
Are we live?
Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Mine?
I
Mine?
hate this energy.
I love this energy.
This is good energy. What are you talking about?
This is that fuckboy energy. Right off the bat.
The whole podcast's energy is like
Annoy Ryobii.
You and me are like rambunctious children while Ryobii tries to corral us.
No, I think we take turns. We take turns being the stick in the mud.
Yeah, spoken like the real adult in the room. All right. Okay.
Shut up.
Welcome to the Three Heads Are Worse Than One. Wait. Welcome to Three Heads Are Worse Than One, a podcast where three friends come together to share their unique perspectives and interests. In each episode, we explore a variety of topics and offer our own take on things. Whether we're discussing the latest news, delving into our favorite hobbies, or just chatting about life, there's never a dull moment when we get together. Join us as we explore the world from our own quirky point of view. Oh my god, and I start coughing. That was an intro written by the new chat GPT bot that's all the rage right now on the interwebs.
This is what George has been spending all day on.
Yeah, I'm well, I will say, like, I thought everyone talking about this bot like it's some like super genius that's gonna, like, I don't know, like a lot of the early coverage on this I saw was like they were like painting it like it was, I don't know, some super revolutionary thing. It just kind of feels like Cleverbot 2.0 type of a thing. Or even maybe
the art ones are way more impressive, I think.
Yeah.
Are they?
Maybe not. Actually, no. If you cherry pick the right examples, you'll find really impressive stuff from both. The art and the chat. What was the prompt you gave it to get that?
I said, write an intro. I'm paraphrasing here, but it was basically write me an intro.
Intro. That's a terrible intro, but it's not necessarily like the worst like blurb.
Yeah. I said, write me an intro for a podcast called Three Heads Are Worse Than One, where three friends talk about a variety of their interests, or something like that, basically. I gave it like a one-sentence prompt.
What do you think it would say if you just said, write an intro for the Three Heads Are Worse Than One podcast?
I'll try.
RJ, can I tell you a secret?
What do you say? You don't tell. What?
That the intro it gave us is so incredibly basic that it's probably going to be the exact same thing or something even more vague or non-specific, which honestly got me thinking about how maybe this show is just incredibly basic and that's actually just a dunk on us.
Wow, it did spit out a very similar thing. Not the exact same thing, but yeah, I mean, that does very much play into Ryobie's point.
Yeah, you only removed details for it to pull from.
Yeah. And it says,
that's what was kind of interesting. What would it assume about our podcast just based on the name is essentially what I wanted to get.
It does make some assumptions. It says our team of three hosts will bring their diverse backgrounds and experience to the table, resulting in lively and thought-provoking discussions. Yeah, we're not diverse at all.
Hey, we're
all white straight males from northeast US.
It's fucking stupid how we're the same time zone, isn't it?
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
God, we are just cut and pastes.
Mm-hmm. Whether we're tackling current events, delving into popular culture, or sharing our personal experiences, we're always looking to challenge our own perspectives and push the boundaries of what's considered normal in today's world. Join us each week as we navigate the complex and ever-changing landscape of the modern world.
I just want to talk about The Force Unleashed. I don't give a shit about the rest of that stuff.
We don't really tackle current items.
Yeah,
We have like minor current things that we do, but
yeah, I mean that's just
modern.
Also, I don't think we challenge Dick.
Yeah,
I think we mostly
like
I think we mostly shit it up.
like I like the like it seemed to have a longer thing when I gave it more information, so it had to like just pull more shit out of its ass, which doesn't seem like, I don't know, it's a weird route that the bot took.
I kind of do you like this? Which one do you like more?
I don't like either. They're both incredibly
between
boring.
What? The two intros?
Which one's worse?
The two intros?
Yeah, the two intros.
Yeah, the one that had more info was better.
Yeah,
because it was more accurate. It wasn't very good in any way, but it was accurate information at least.
It was pretty accurate.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the thing that sort of first struck me about this bot is because you can tell it to like write like a persuasive essay on like jaywalking or some shit like that. That was just an example of one that I threw in there. Or like a persuasive essay against cars. And it'll write like a passable essay for like a 9th, 10th grader or whatever. So like the concern that I immediately thought of was you know, the ethics of like a bot like this and making it easier for like kids to cheat.
So that's fine with me. Essays fucking suck.
Good take.
Cheat on your essays, kids.
They suck. On the one hand, none of us really have skin in the game anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the other hand, they're not even good essays.
I kind of have skin in the game.
Sure, but they're like, it's like imagine you're a kid and it's like, okay, should I spend like an hour writing an essay or even 45 minutes writing an essay that might get an A, or should I just have this bot do it for me in 2 seconds and get probably a B? Like a kid's probably going to take the B and just play video games.
I think it's going.
That's 100% what I would do every single time.
I think technology is going. First off, it's not that advanced. Second off, I think technology is going to quickly catch up to prevent this sort of thing, because like those plagiarism checkers that like came out and started being prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a, I don't know, product of the times. That was and they've continued to be relevant for a while.
Yeah.
So it's not like teachers aren't aware that this is a possibility, and I think there's definitely.
And it's like my wife was saying how a lot of them are talking about if these things do become prevalent and there isn't a good defense for them, just moving all essays in person. That way you can't, if you're just sitting there in class with a pen and paper, you can't.
I'm so absolutely on that train because I just fucking like I'm super anti-homework.
Yeah, definitely.
I
hate homework.
That was my exact same sentiment.
I hate homework so much.
Yeah.
Assign me some reading and maybe like a couple of things or something like that.
Yeah.
Like just a little bit of practice. If it ever takes me more than like half an hour to do one class's homework, that's way too much homework.
Yeah. Because like it's like the teacher's got to realize this student probably has like like other classes, and I think like a lot of them do realize this and assign a reasonable amount of work, but some of it just feels like they think that more work equals more knowledge for the kids, so they just like maximize as much work as they can realistically give the kids, but like and the intention is good.
Math was always the worst for that because I felt like it was like, okay, I'm learning like this concept. Okay, like you're gonna like every day you're gonna go home from school and you're gonna do 100 fucking math problems, and it's like no, like 2 maybe.
Yeah,
and fine, I don't need that 3 max.
Yeah.
If it's really complicated and would take a really long time, I could just do 1. It's fine. And then we can actually learn it in class instead of doing what I found like almost all of my high school math experience was we were assigned homework. We went to class. We did corrections. We got new homework, and we left class.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, to be fair, that was a bad teacher who eventually got fired. So, I mean, like, that was just a bad... Like, she would literally just hand you homework.
She would did the same thing.
I don't remember... Like, we went to the same school. I don't remember another teacher doing it nearly as bad as her.
The other teacher I had was from the school I went to when I didn't go to the same school.
I see. Wow, that's crazy. A different school than
that? I think I would imagine it's really common in math, just because I've experienced it.
Well, when I was in like public schools in different states, it wasn't like that bad. Like they would lecture about concepts, and then they would do a little bit of answering concerns people had on former homeworks or whatever. It wouldn't be like like this teacher we had at our old private school would literally hand you homework, and then your entire next class would be going over that homework. And then it would just rinse and repeat. So your entire class was just going over last class homework. That's all it ever was.
The fucking worst. I hated it so much.
It sucked.
All right, just to jump in here. That sounds... That's definitely... Teaching styles vary between classes, like subjects, and definitely between teachers.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like definitely one extreme.
Yeah. And she did eventually get fired after we were gone, but yeah.
Like nobody likes
kind of surprising, to be honest.
Yeah.
That she lasted that long?
No.
Or that they fired her after so long?
They fired her.
Okay, maybe somebody complained, I don't know.
No, parents did complain, like multiple parents.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people complained. Yeah. Nobody liked her.
No.
School politics can get weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is with the whole like repetition thing, like the concept that you don't get. I'm not defending homework, but I'm going to slightly disagree with the fact that, and before you start pulling I don't know, research studies on me about how homework doesn't actually like help you learn better or whatever. If you learn better through repetition.
No. The problem isn't the repetition. The problem is having
the volume.
30% of it happen at home. Like 10% of the work should happen at home. The other 90% should happen in school. I mean, it's almost a full-time job that you're there at the school. You have enough time to learn while you're there.
Yeah. It really doesn't feel like
not something.
Really does.
Rule three.
It just really doesn't feel like we don't like need to be spending that much time out of school doing like school exists for you to go and learn the stuff there, and it just seems, I don't know.
Especially since they kind of push kids now with like the whole colleges want clubs and extracurriculars thing to get stuff like sports and clubs and shit like that, 4-H, shit to add to your resume, college resume. So like it's especially like they don't want, like, I don't see how they expect kids to be able to do all the stuff that they're supposed to do.
That, I think, is
or to properly socialize, or like all the time, or like all the time that. Yeah, sorry.
I think that's more now. I think we're getting to more the core of the issue in that there is too much, not just classwork, not just homework, but too much content on all the classes and too much other extracurriculars that students are involved with to adequately. Well, not so much. I guess you could quote unquote adequately teach a subject, but not completely to the point where teachers want to be. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, there's when you think about it, you're like, school's like a full-time job. It's not really. Like, if you think about the amount of time that you spend in any singular class, it's maybe an hour a day averaged out.
Well, yeah, individual classes, but
exactly, yeah,
school,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but school as a whole is almost it's not quite, because it's like usually like 7 hours or something, but like it's like it's almost to the point of a full-time job in terms of the sheer hours in the building.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the amount of like an hour to learn, like an hour a week to like learn multiplication when you don't know what multiplication is.
Yeah, an hour a day, so 5 hours a week. But still, it's still 5 hours a week isn't like, you know, you could.
It's
argue,
not a lot of time.
Yeah.
If you think about the broadness of like, just think about how hard it is to learn, like just learning completely. I don't know. Kids learn incredibly quickly, but I do sort of wonder when like you take a kid who has no idea what multiplication is, and then it's like, all right, I'm going to like how if you have an hour, if you spend an hour with them a week teaching them how multiplication, an hour a day.
I want to go to Ryobii school. He only had to spend an hour a week on any class.
No, think about this from the teacher's perspective. That's what I'm trying to get at.
No, I mean, I'm very sympathetic to the teachers. I don't really blame the teachers because I don't think they're making most of the curriculum decisions at the end of the day. Like most of the overarching decisions. I do think that they stress out over a lot of the details, but a lot of the broad overarching things that are issues aren't the teachers' individual decisions. They're up to like, school boards and state governments and shit like that, So I have a lot of sympathy to our teachers. We don't fund education nearly enough. We don't give our teachers nearly enough wages. I don't want to get too political, but like, yeah.
It's also part of like expected curriculum plays a part of it. Like of course like an hour a day doesn't seem like a lot when you have to go through fucking world history in a single fucking semester.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, you're at school practically 8 hours a day. That should be enough time. Like,
or at least with a little supplementation, not like
yeah.
Because there were days like you would literally have to go home and work.
I think that there should be a little supplementation, but if I had to choose between what I experienced in school and no homework at all, I think no homework at all is better.
Yeah.
Like, all right, okay. Let me picture
only more enjoyable, but more beneficial for students.
Yeah.
And see, that's where I disagree. I think it's not. This is the solution that they have come up with, which is not a good one. But the alternative is kids just know less.
I don't even think that's necessarily true.
Aren't as well prepared. I think it is.
The truth.
Yeah, because there's not enough time in the day to teach during class. So that's why they decided. I don't think there is.
We're arguing there is, and you're arguing there is. There isn't really.
Where's the time come from? Where do you get more time?
You don't need more time. We don't. That's what we're arguing. They have enough time. They just need to utilize it better.
You take it away from the time where you review the homework.
Yeah. Like if they utilized time better, and then like, because I don't think if you take away homework from the current situation, tests or kids' test scores drop like significantly automatically. I think there's just so many other factors that go into kids' test scores.
Yeah.
It's not just a 1-to-1, and I'm not saying that the perfect amount of homework is 0. I'm just saying 0 is closer than we currently are to the perfect amount of homework.
Yeah. 100%. It's like you spend so much.
RJ's the extreme though. He's the homework abolitionist.
It's because my brain is extremely slow, and like what is 30 minutes of work for someone else is like an hour of work for me. So like if I actually got all of my homework done every day from school, it would be I go home, I wake up, I go to school, I go home, I do homework, I go to sleep, I wake up, I go to school, like.
Yeah, rinse and repeat.
I don't spend time with friends. I don't learn how to socialize because you're not allowed to socialize in school.
No time for extracurriculars.
That's an extreme
extracurriculars. You're not allowed to speak. You're not allowed to speak in class about non-class activities.
Yeah.
You're not going to get arrested.
Well, I
No.
mean, yeah, but the teacher
It's
just
the most
shuts
enjoyable
down
part of
The
immediately.
school is
teacher's
the
gonna
socialization.
yell at you.
Yeah, they were pretty like they were pretty strict about like not socializing outside. Like we basically were only allowed to socialize during like farm program, lunch, and like and like PE and stuff like that. But like if it was class or even like study time, it would be on your ass about like
I
socializing.
mean, wasn't
or
it like
joking
one
around.
teacher per like 7 students though? Maybe that's an educational difference.
Yeah, they could be on you more because we didn't outnumber
Yeah.
them as much.
Okay, maybe that's just an experience difference.
But
Yeah.
I felt like I felt the same way when I went to a slightly larger school and in college. Is all the time
I felt that the same way, but I
feel
felt because it was self-imposed. Like in
Yeah,
college, I don't feel like
it could have
can't
also
talk.
been
It's that
it could have been self-imposed by just a brought up understanding of the manners, I guess, of not talking to
yeah. I mean, they socialize
talking
you to
during
not want
class.
to talk during class.
Yeah.
So eventually, you just set that parameter on yourself, I guess.
You know what I think?
Like
I'm gonna
all
do?
the stuff that
What are you gonna do,
parents are
Ryobii?
supposed to teach their kids. Kids don't have time to learn from their parents or
I'm gonna
spend
listen to
time with their
RJ
parents.
talk.
If they're fucking doing homework, the entire fucking time they're not at school.
I didn't hear any of that. Anyway, who is gonna do the first segment? I feel like we're at
Okay,
the
sorry.
20-minute
man.
mark.
But just to put a cap on this entire discussion, I don't think any of us are well versed enough in
No, just
the
like any
science of
topic.
education. Yeah, this as in most things we talk about. I might do some research on this and maybe do a future segment on like the sort of not psychology. I don't know if psychology is the right word, but like homework case studies
Yeah.
and why maybe get an insight into why it hasn't changed from the current method.
Interesting. Yeah.
Get some data to back up
I would be
these
interested to see because we're all just like basically going off of
We're theorizing in our own experiences.
emotional arguments based on our own experience. Yeah. So
RJ especially.
yeah. But that's
I
fine.
hate homework
That's
so
what we
much.
do here. That's what we do here.
Yeah,
This is a feelings podcast, not a thinking man's podcast.
yeah.
Or just gonna flip his desk and set it on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there is something genuinely important
yeah.
achieved outside of school and outside of work that cannot be achieved at school or work.
Something you learn in like really early on in like economics classes in like higher ed is that there's an opportunity cost to everything. So you can't just look at what's gained by doing something. You have to also look at what they're missing out on in that thing's stead. Like what would they be doing with that time if it wasn't for homework? And I think that's the important thing. It's like what is homework replaced with? And I think if it's replaced with like going out and selling drugs, then yeah, it's probably going to be more negative for their life experience. But if they're going out and socializing in clubs or like I don't know, volunteering, etc., then that probably could be overall better. But again, we're all just theorizing. I don't know. But anyway, who wanted to go first in terms of segments this week?
I think RJ did.
I think it was going to be me. So my segment was we were going to look at the 2022 Wrapped from Spotify, since we all have Spotify now.
What do you mean now?
You didn't have it last year.
Don't we
didn't
all
you?
have Spotify? What are you talking about?
You didn't have it
I thought
last
you
year.
said you
Is
didn't-
his accusation?
You didn't have it last
I didn't
year.
pay for it.
He got
Yeah.
premium this year.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah,
Spotify Wrapped,
that's
you get Spotify Wrapped no matter what.
Yeah. So
Don't give them ideas, RJ.
how do we want to do this? Do we want to go fact by fact per person, or do we want to go through an individuals at a time?
Why don't just slide by slide?
I think slide by slide, and we start with Ryobii, but we go through the whole slide for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the first one is number of genres. I had 35.
Interesting.
35.
But I would argue it's that number probably didn't increase from last year.
Mine definitely decreased from last year.
Mine decreased from last year as well.
Actually, it might have decreased from 2
pretty
years
sure.
ago. I think it was 2 years ago. I had like over 1,000 genres.
Jesus.
Or not 1,000. Sorry, over 100 genre.
Yeah.
Okay.
1,000 would be a
Last year
lot.
you had over 100. I think I had like 80 last year.
Yeah. I think I had like 140.
And you had like one, yeah, you had one something. I was like 80. I'm really stoked about that. I think my wife had like 30 something, and like I was like, yeah, 80 feels really good. And I talked to George, and he's like, yeah, I have 140. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah. Oh my god. But
Yeah, this is gonna be the George flexes on us with his musical diversity.
I just have 67. It's not like I went crazy this year. RJ had more than me last year.
Closer to you this year. I had 57, so I was only 10 genres behind.
Yeah, I had a bad listening year. It was a bad year for me.
I did too. I created a playlist of like I at some point in time I just kept on like listening to the same songs over and over and over again. I'm like I'm not fucking going around and queuing these up every time. I put them all in a playlist and then I listened to only that I took like 3 months to create that playlist, and then I listened to only that playlist for like 6 months.
Yeah.
How many songs were in that?
That playlist. Okay, hold on. Let me back out and
Just to
see
get a
if I
sense of
can
scale.
While he's doing that, while he's checking on that, I had a okay.
It's 4 hours and 13 minutes long.
It's what?
4 hours and 13 minutes long. I'm not
Okay.
getting a straight like count.
Okay.
Really
That's
quick.
bigger than I thought it was.
You should. It should show you at the top if you click on the playlist on your desktop.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
But I had a similar thing where I got really into the Spotify, like it's like what you're listening to right now, like songs you have on repeat. It's like Spotify repeat or something. And so I had a similar thing where I basically was just listening to songs that I was into on repeat all like for a lot of the year. But not too RJ's extreme, as we'll see in a little bit here.
75. It's a 75 song playlist.
Okay.
I think Spotify, like the repeat one is like 50, but it like changes.
Yeah.
So what were your top 5 genres, everyone?
Are you? Is that the next one? I think the next one for me.
It's in the same one.
It's in the same one. Oh
Yeah.
shit! I missed it. Hold on. Let me go back. Skip the first one.
Yeah,
top 5 genres. Rock was my top one, which is generic enough. I'm not gonna like. Yeah, of course. That's such a broad spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop was my number 2.
Interesting.
Which I think that's largely from your recommendations.
Hip hop isn't even on my top 5.
I don't explore hip hop. I don't explore hip hop on my own that much, and I did get a couple of hip hop songs like really stuck in my head. But the next 3 are ones that I'm like modern alternative rock. I think that has been my like biggest like. For years, almost all of my favorite songs were modern alternative rock.
Mm.
And then I've been getting into soul, which was number 4, and I've been really getting into apparently Americana, new Americana, so kind of like new folk music.
You're gonna have to drop me some recommendations because I don't know what either of those last 2 are supposed to be.
Soul?
Soul? You don't like
couldn't
Al
name
Green?
a soul song.
You don't know soul? You could.
I know vaguely what it represents, but I couldn't name a soul song.
Like Al Green,
like Amazing Grace
by Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, Aretha Franklin, Nina Simone.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the song by Aretha Franklin?
Respect. Really.
Oh, the thing they play at like middle school
very
dances?
well-known song.
Yeah.
Maybe, probably.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's it's a fucking slapping song. I love that song.
My top 5 genres were rap, pop. I don't know how pop got second. I'm so mad.
Hey, pop gang.
I read hip hop and I assumed that rap was.
I use them as synonyms, rap and hip hop.
Yeah, I assumed they were synonyms. I just assumed that Spotify calls rap hip hop.
Well,
but you're saying
there's no objective definition of hip hop. Like I've heard a bunch of different definitions of hip hop. Like hip hop, like rap is hip hop music, but hip hop is the whole culture. So like hip hop clothes, hip hop dance, hip hop whatever. And then other people say like, oh, hip hop is like rap, but a little more poppy and a little more singy, a little more R&B. But like, there's no like hard definition of hip hop.
It's all made up.
Yeah, it's all made up.
Artsy people, am I right?
Yeah, but okay. So rap was first, pop was second, and the one that I've been sort of getting into these past couple years, is dancehall. And then is third, and then alternative R&B is fourth, and then UK hip hop is fifth.
UK has its own genre.
Oh,
when the UK does it, it's its own genre.
Yeah, we reinvented the scene. That was a terrible British accent. Okay, I apologize to all my family.
I don't know, it's pretty good.
No, it wasn't the worst
ever. But that's just because I've heard really bad ones.
Coming from someone who's genuinely British.
Yeah. Do we even want to talk about the dumb like fucking oh, what mood for the time of day did you get?
I didn't do my top 5. Fuck you.
Oh,
I like that.
Sorry. Yeah, do your top 5. My bad.
It's boring. Pop, rock, pop punk, which apparently is different.
Yeah. Of course it's different. Blink-182, Sum 41.
And sadly enough, well, actually not sad. I have anime as number 4. That's apparently
what?
Yeah, deal with it.
All right.
And whatever speed run means. I could not tell you.
We have to.
I didn't think that.
We have to have you pull up because it makes playlists.
Does it tell you what it categorizes them as?
You should pull them up. I'm guessing speedrun is video game music.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
I didn't think it was possible for me to hate someone's top 5 genres. I hate your top 5 genres.
I don't even know what dance hall is.
You don't know what dance hall is?
No.
I don't even really know what it is. It's a type of
I don't even know
music.
what speedrun is. This is made up.
Yeah, all these genres are fake. Fake news.
Yeah, these are fake ass genres.
So
except for my genres, those are all real.
What did your morning vibe start with?
I need to start with mine.
Oh, okay. Start with yours.
My morning started with Kidcore Love Funny.
Mine was lit hype.
Being put on a list.
I don't like that.
Mine was lit hype confident.
I listened to a lot of hype, energy, hype, and happy.
Ah, we both got hype, but I got lit and confident. And you got energy and happy. What did Oh, that's so bullshit. I just got theater kid midday because I listened to Hamilton. Okay, I'm a theater kid. Get the fuck out of here. And then poetic exciting. Fucking bullshit.
Alright.
I got spooky, amped, and exciting midday.
Ooh, we both got exciting. We matched a word each time.
Spooky. Last year they just did a single broad spectrum, and I think I got eerie and hype, eerie hype combo, which I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah. I like that.
Ryobii, what was your midday?
Hype, light, energy, which I think one of you guys had for morning.
I had hype, lit, and he had energy.
Ah.
Yeah. What you had?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Hype. You said hype, play, and energy.
No, he said light.
Light.
Hype, light, and energy.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 synonyms for night. I have calm, relaxing, chill.
You had the thesaurus.
Yeah, the thesaurus combo.
I had angst, rebellious, and amped.
I had angst too.
I blame that on the fact that I think the thing I most often listen to in the evening, because in the evening I'm not alone. I listen to a playlist my wife and I made together of songs that are at least acceptable for both of us. So I'm pretty sure I got angst and rebellious from my wife's music.
That's on brand.
Me and April tried that, but our music tastes are so far apart that it was just
it's impossible. You can
impossible.
Anything you both.
No, we filled it
enough.
But it was all songs that one of us was lukewarm on so often that like neither of us ever picks the playlist because it's just like neither of us like cares for it.
Okay. At least you weren't like yelling at each other, skip this. Oh no, I like this. And then
No,
the next one comes on. Oh, I like skip it.
It's usually just driver. The rules we operate on is driver gets to pick the music, but the passenger can, if they so choose, can add to the queue on the Spotify phone.
Ah. I think I usually set up
Pretty good
like,
rules.
Passenger controls music, but driver has veto.
That's kind of what, or no, it's less like it's like the opposite of veto, like add to. You can add to the queue, you can't remove from the queue. Yeah. But anyway, total music time. Or wait, no, Ryobii, did you say your night?
Yeah, I was upbeat, angst, energetic.
Okay.
So also angst.
I was the only one who like switched to calm at night. That's weird.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I just listen to it's the same playlist. I only have like my songs.
Yeah, like if it's in the night, I feel like I'm more likely to listen to like swing music or like jazz or like lo-fi or something. But okay, anyway.
Or anime songs.
Oh yeah.
It's also weird that it gave you anime as a genre.
Yeah, anime is a genre, by the way.
It gave my wife something that I called otacore, and we went to the playlist to see what otacore was, and it's like 98% anime songs. I'm like, okay.
Interesting. So for minutes, I got 25,377.
I'm at. You go.
What's your what percentile does that put you in?
78.
78. I got 20,000, almost flat. 20,006 minutes.
Interesting.
I was at 20,042. We almost matched.
You had more listening minutes than me? That's wild.
By like half an hour, dude.
That's crazy. And mine, you know what's crazy? Mine is like almost halfway split between YouTube and Spotify. So like total music listened hours, I probably have like close to 50,000. Like at least 45,000, I would guess. How do y'all listen to so little music? It's crazy.
Mostly I'm listening to audiobooks and podcasts.
Yeah, like
about 6,000 of mine were one podcast.
Oh, it counted podcast? Oh yeah, Playtime.
Oh yeah, Playtime.
So this should include podcasts. Do you listen to podcasts on Spotify though, RJ?
I do listen to podcasts on Spotify.
Yeah, so this should include Spotify, or should include.
Don't listen to audiobooks
podcasts.
Though, so it doesn't include audiobooks.
Yeah, and it doesn't include my YouTube listens. How dare they?
Okay, top song is next.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Ryobii.
Oh god.
The Great Escape by Boys Like Girls.
Oh Jesus.
What is that?
You've never heard that song?
You would probably know it if you heard.
That sounds like a song I would have heard of in like I don't know.
It's like circa 2010 or something.
Yeah.
2009 or yeah. It's definitely. How many
times did you listen to it?
Definitely pre-Obama's second term.
12 times. Wow.
What you measure when a song came out by the presidency?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I didn't hear RJ's comment. I was too.
It's not a lot for a top song.
Not a lot?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Well, how much is your top song, RJ?
51.
61.
What
was your top song?
Often.
Squad Goals by Prof.
I must have gotten a real kick on this song. It was All This Money by Injury Reserve.
Oh wow.
Is my top song.
Hey, I suggested that song to him.
The year, yeah.
Let's go.
I kind of remember like for like 3 days I would just like, okay, I'm listening to that again. Okay, yeah. I'm listening to that again.
Oh my god.
I'm like, it's not even my favorite like hip hop song this year. It's like it's my second favorite, but I listened to it more than my favorite one.
What was your favorite one?
Boogie by Brockhampton. That shit fucking slaps.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
It's unfucking stoppable.
Yeah.
Like 2 seconds, like even 1 second in, I'm always fucking jamming.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like I'm like my energy peaks. I'm like dancing. That happens all in 1 second.
Hold on. I'm gonna write
boo,
down.
boo, 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 and I'm like, yeah.
I'm gonna write down people's top songs so I can listen to them later.
Mine was Squad Goals by Prof. You know what's another great Brockhampton song, RJ, if you're interested? Sweet. Have you heard Sweet?
I think you sent me like 5 or 6 Brockhampton.
It was probably one of them.
No, that was Injury Reserve.
Yeah, no, that's Injury Reserve.
No, I haven't listened to other
Did I show you Boogie? Because I know Boogie.
You might have shown me Boogie. I got Boogie from there's a YouTuber called We're the Kids. And I got super into their content. They are an animator and a musician.
I see.
And they did like a fan animation for like a chunk of Boogie.
Okay.
I'm like, fuck, that shit slaps, and I like needed to like.
That entire album, like Brockhampton 1, 2, 3, is all on my topster. I love that.
You showed me because for a while I had a Brockhampton song and I don't listen to it that much anymore. But I is it called like Gold Chain or something like that?
Gold. It's just Gold.
It's just called Gold. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. They say the word Gold Chain.
Yeah.
Like 100 times in
that
it.
song slaps so hard. I love that song.
Yeah.
You guys ever brought up Brockhampton before? I have
no idea.
There's
too many artists. I don't know. There's too many artists.
George brought up Brockhampton to me, and like this has happened multiple times where George showed me like a hip hop song that I didn't particularly care for it when he showed it to me, and then I heard it again some other time, and I'm like, "Yo, this is the best!"
Yeah, it's because I suggested. So okay, are we?
George hyped it up too much.
Yeah, I tend to do that.
I think you showed me a bunch of Brockhampton like the year we met Ryobii.
Interesting.
I remember you showing it to me in the Evelyn house.
Yeah.
What presidency was that?
That was Trump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trump, yeah. Okay, so top 5 songs. I gotta give
how many songs? Wait, how many songs did you play?
Yeah. I forgot that's at the beginning of that.
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
Ryobii.
Yeah,
we
should end with me because I'm gonna win.
All right. Yeah. 1,413.
Ooh.
You listened to a lot more songs than I did.
Wow.
Again, this is a really bad listening year for me. 827 songs.
Do you guys use your Discover Weekly?
Where, like,
no, I'd never. No.
Probably accounted for like. I've stopped using it. I think I confused Spotify's algorithm, and now it only recommends garbage to me. So,
yeah.
So now when I want to listen to new music, I either explore a band who I have a song of theirs I really like.
Yeah, I do
or
that.
A couple of songs I really like, or I go to Spotify's radio for a song, and like every time I've done that, it's been like oops, all bangers. Like,
yeah. Like there's a few ways that I find. There's a few ways that I find songs. Sorry. I either do what RJ said, like I go into a band or artist that I have 1 or 2 songs that I really enjoy, but I have never really explored them, and I'll usually like listen to an album of theirs or something. And then the other way is I'll listen to like I have that list of albums that I go through, and then I just
Rolling Stones top 500.
Yeah, I'm like halfway through that. And then I'll occasionally listen to like just like I'll watch like Fantano or someone like that on YouTube and listen to their recommendations, or I'll like you know how you can go to the bottom of your Spotify playlist and it'll like suggest extensions to that playlist. Essentially, you can even do the thing now where you hit enhance and it'll just add a bunch of songs to your playlist, and then you can choose whether or not you want to permanently add them. So I'll do one of those things where I like expand a playlist I already have.
I've done that. I tried doing that once with like my like fixed playlist, and it still did. It basically gave me all the same stuff it gives me for my with my like Discover Weekly, which the other reason I dropped off of Discover Weekly is because it basically only recommends me like rock music because it's
Yeah.
most of what I have. But like I have a lot of rock music. I'm not really like looking for more rock music.
Well,
I'm
that's why.
looking for I'm like looking for more folk and more like soul and stuff like that. So
Well,
I have to delve into artists or
well,
like songs like to find more of that stuff.
that's why I would really recommend it's like more pointed playlists, because then you could be like,
Yeah.
if when I want to do that, I can just go to my Airbnb playlist and look at the Airbnb
Yeah.
suggestions, or I can go to the swing playlist and look at my
Mhm.
swing suggestions, etc., etc.
Mhm.
But yeah. So anyway, my songs listened to
Drum
this
roll.
year are
roll.
3,212. 3,212. So yeah.
Respectable.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My top 5 songs.
Imagine not
were-
having 4 digits. Couldn't be me.
Yeah, like a loser. And I was gonna say earlier, a big shout out to Prof, because a lot of my top 5 were Prof. First
Song
song.
your top five are Prof.
That is not true. That is not true, as you'll see. First song, Squad Goals by Prof. Second song, Andre the Giant by Prof. Third song, Light Work by Prof. Fourth
Lightwork's
song,
really good.
Cousins by Prof and Cashinova. Fifth song, Heavy by Jada Kingdom, a dance hall hit. It's a really poetic song. It's this song all about how this girl who's singing, her butt is heavy, because of its massive size. So yeah, it's pretty lit.
Yeah.
Truly a modern tragedy.
Yeah.
I think unsurprisingly, it goes all this money, and unsurprisingly, the next one
Injury
is
Reserve.
Boogie.
Rockhampton.
Yeah. And then the next one is Oblivion by Royal Blood, which is a song I've recently got like it has been like my one song on super repeat.
Interesting.
The Mariner's Revenge song, which I'm really surprised at because like I listened to it a lot like when I first started listening to it, but I don't feel like I've been listening to it a lot recently.
Maybe
I
it was
might have
earlier in
been
the
like
year.
yeah,
Well,
it might have just been coming up a bunch on my playlist or
the data ends on November 1st, by the way.
yeah. Or I could
think
have
it's
been
November
listening
1st.
to it a lot to like inspire me in some kind of like D&D thing. And then Alive and Amplified by the Mooney Suzuki, which is a good fucking song.
But it really emphasizes how much you repeat shit. I wanted to bring this up because, like, considering I only have 5,000 more hours listened than you, but I have like 4 times your amount of songs. So,
Yeah.
like, that really, and it's so funny because you're the one who like is really anti like stuff like rewatches or rereads of a book and stuff like that. But you'll re-listen to a song more than the average person, which is curious. Well, maybe not more than the average, but more than anyone here. We can't really say an average.
I'm not that much better than RJ. I'm pretty sure most of it I can't be asked to find new music.
But I mean,
it's not that I'm anti.
Your top song you only had 12 fucking listens to.
Also, you have about.
That's not new though. That's like wicked old.
You had barely more time than him, but you had like hundreds of more songs than him.
Yeah.
You had virtually the same amount of time, but like hundreds of more songs.
Part of this is like I'm listening to it and gradually like learning the words and then enjoying that I know the words and then like.
Oh, you learning lyrics, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot more lyrics, or a lot less lyrics than I used to when I would listen to fewer songs.
Or just too varied.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I can't enjoy it. I enjoy a song more if I can sing along to it.
Absolutely, me too.
Yeah, that's true. Like, which is why I go back to like. I like mixing it up. Like, I'd say half the time I'm listening to songs I know or knew in the past or something, and then half the time I'm listening to brand new stuff. So like, yeah, I enjoy both. I enjoy novelty, and then I also enjoy going back to ones that I can crank up the volume and sing every word to.
Yeah.
Can we remember to post these screenshots in Discord? Because I this is probably what I'm going to be spending a good chunk of my workday tomorrow doing. Is I'm looking up the songs that you guys played a lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
At least the artists.
I'll share the story onto it.
Yeah, I'll share all like my top songs and top artists and things.
But big rec on Royal Blood. I went to a concert of theirs this year, and it
nice.
fucking slapped.
Okay, I'll write them down.
Awesome. Yeah, I've never been to. Or no, sorry, I've been to a Young Gravy.
George has never been to a concert.
I've been to a Young Gravy concert, but with RJ.
I'm not big of a fan.
I was at that concert.
Yeah.
Is that the only concert you've been to?
Oh no! Sorry, I mean it wasn't. I mean I went to a club where Alice in Wonderland was playing. She's like a DJ.
Have I been to more concerts than George? I think I have.
Yeah, I've been to Young Gravy and Alice in Wonderland.
Have you been to? I've been to 3.
I had tickets to Little Dicky, and then I got canceled.
I've been to at least 3, and pretty much all of them were like with my dad and brother.
I went to one with my dad, one with George, and one with my wife.
I was not the only one.
I've seen U2, I think, on 2 occasions.
Oh my
I've
God.
seen Dropkick Murphys.
Jesus Christ! Why don't you listen to Oasis
Dropkick
too?
Murphys?
I've seen Counting Crows.
He said U2 first. It doesn't matter. He could have said the best artist ever after he said U2. He lost all credibility.
Hey, George. I'm gonna cut your goddamn head off.
Oh, let me guess. You also listen to Coldplay and Oasis. Get out of here, right?
Nothing's wrong with either of those bands.
Yeah.
You're basic.
You're basic, Ryobii. You should be listening to Jada Kingdom and Vibes Cartel. All right.
I would say why not both?
Fucking garbage ass Coldplay. They're talking about how thick their ass is.
Yeah. Like
It's real music, Ryobii.
The lead singer
of music.
The lead singer of Coldplay ain't even thick. He ain't got no cake. He got a flat pancake ass. Christ.
Well, it would be disingenuous if he sang a song about it, but then wouldn't it?
Yeah, he should have a song about he's like, pour syrup all over my pancake ass. Alright, moving on. How many artists did y'all have?
I didn't even say my top 5.
Oh, sorry. I keep skipping over Ryobii.
It's okay.
This isn't interesting.
Yeah, get out of here, Ryobii.
We had The Great Escape, Numb by Linkin Park, which I don't even think I listened to that much, but I guess it was number 2.
You only listened to Great Escape 12 times.
Yeah.
That's negligible. I've on that 75 song playlist, I don't think there's a single song I've listened to less than
12.
Yeah, less than 12 times. I think every single song on the 75 song playlist I've listened to more than 12 times.
I don't know what to tell you, man. You should probably just stop being surprised.
No.
One Thing by One Direction.
Oh, shit!
Heart Full of Black by Burning Brides. And then Symphony by Clean
I
Bandit.
haven't listened to Heart Full of Black in years.
It's a fucking banger. And it's on the Burnout 3 soundtrack, and that's why I like it.
I don't even know that song. Yeah, over
when
my
I
head.
first
And I listen to
I
too
will
much music.
teach you the way.
It got recommended to me by YouTube's algorithm, and I don't
YouTube
listen.
is another way I find a lot of music.
I don't listen to almost any of that, any of what I used to listen to anymore.
I could probably sing Heart Full of Black by heart now.
I can sing parts of Heart Full of Black. I cannot sing the whole thing.
Maybe, yeah.
This isn't on the list, but what are some of y'all's guilty pleasure from this year? Well, after Ryobie's.
These 5.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, finish.
No. There's probably worse ones, but One Thing, yeah, probably any One Direction song I have. I got a couple.
I used to bump that back in like, I don't know, 2014.
What's a genuinely like?
Wait, did you already read all 5 and I'm tripping?
Yeah, the last one was Symphony, which I think
is
actually came out this decade. So there you go.
Interesting. Wow. This decade, you say?
Oh, I just listened to it's not in my like big repeated songs playlist. If I'm going with big repeated songs, it might be the one by Kanye.
Oh God, no, not Kanye. He's been dragged through the mud enough. Not now, you too, RJ.
Let's say his lessons were before he went off the deep end.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about Kanye. I don't really want to.
Yeah,
if I'm
neither do I.
honest.
No, let's just.
No, I don't. I
Yeah.
don't either.
I don't think he deserves the attention.
I just today, I was like, I should listen to my liked songs for the first time like this year, and Starboy by The Weeknd came on, and I felt kind of bad about that.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't know. What's the joke? What's wrong with Starboy or The Weeknd? Actually, I don't know Starboy the song. I know who The Weeknd is though. Did they do something bad?
No, just very like, I don't know, like radio music, kind of like.
What's wrong with the? Okay, well, you know my opinion on the radio.
Yeah, just sort of.
The radio
sort of
doesn't play.
basic.
Yeah, it's just really basic.
Yeah,
It's not.
basic.
It's not sort of. You can say it.
Yeah. But my guilty pleasures this year have definitely been Tay Money, who's fucking slaps. I don't even care that I don't think it's very. It's not like she's Shakespeare out here or something, but the music slaps. I don't care what anyone says. And then Light Skin Keisha is another one. They fucking slap. I don't care what anyone says.
That name puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
See, this is like this is shit I will not. This is why I'm glad we are talking about this. I will not find these people on my own.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
And George will
you
be
don't like
reminded that you
Trapper's
too is a
Delight?
band that exists.
You don't like Trapper's Delight, Ryobii?
I don't. Maybe I do, and I just don't know it.
Yeah, I doubt it, but. Oh. So
But I'm willing to try. I will not talk shit.
If I liked Starboy more, I don't think I'd feel as guilty about it as I do. But
Oh, it's just you're kind of mad on the song.
yeah.
I see. Okay.
It's a song. It's a song that when it was playing on the radio, it was a lot better than most other songs playing on the radio.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean a lot.
Yeah. So, how many artists
You should
did
probably
y'all
speed
get?
this up, eh?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. How many artists? Speed run. Let's get through this last.
1,157.
RJ?
I must have missed that part.
6.
Yeah, it's 6. Beginning of 6. Very first thing.
598.
And I got 1,453.
Nice, dudes.
What was yours, Ryobii?
1,157.
Okay.
Spotify Discover, baby.
Okay, how many minutes on your top artist?
376.
What?
602, which is not that surprising since they barely show up in my like upper tier playlist.
Wait, so was this Prof?
Yeah.
Or George?
It was.
You said
is his top 4 listened to? Of course, it's Prof.
Okay, I'm just saying mine hasn't made an appearance yet.
Oh my god, I don't like this. It was almost 1,600 minutes. 1,595.
George likes. Wait, were you top 1% at least?
Yeah, top 0.5.
0.5%.
0.5%.
Which is insane.
All right.
I was also top 1. Were you top 1%, Ryobii?
I was top 1% for the artist. My top artist was League of Legends.
No.
Banger music department. I'm not ashamed of that. It is funny though.
Oh god.
League of Legends.
Oh
okay.
god.
Mine was Queens of the Stone Age. They were my top artist last year. They're the artist I have the most songs from. I listened to a lot less of them this year than I did last year.
Interesting.
I'm still in the top 1% of their Spotify listeners.
My top artist by amount of songs is either Eminem, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, or the Beatles.
Well, that's just they have so many.
Exactly, yeah. It's really just how many albums you've released. And Dean Martin would just release music like nobody's business. Like you just every year, it's just like, yep, another
cranking it out.
Capitol Hills volume, whatever the fuck.
Yeah. What are the top 5 artists?
We already.
Oh wait, what about the top album?
No.
Top album next.
I don't have albums.
I don't see top, but I listen to more albums than RJ. I should maybe just cut it out.
Hold on,
It just shows me top artists. I don't have albums.
Like it went to maybe it was just the album of that artist.
After the artist has said you couldn't stop listening to Squad Goals, which is just like the single. Or the song that I listened to.
I think it's like your
Okay, it
top
must have been the
songs and your
song
top artist.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I thought maybe it was the album. No, it was the top song of the top artist.
Yeah.
Mine was the lost art of keeping a secret.
Uh,
Oh yeah. That's not the album. I think the album is RX.
I'm so surprised at one of these.
All right, so top 5 artists.
Who wants
Guess
to
where
go?
U2 is on guess where U2 is on my list.
Hopefully not on it.
You hope wrong. It's number 2.
Darn it. Why?
Followed by Taylor Swift, Panic at the Disco, and Ed Sheeran.
Oh god. Oh god. Okay.
Hey George, I would
League
appreciate
of
a little less.
Legends,
less
U2, Taylor
I didn't
Swift,
say
Panic at the Disco, Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
So I'm bred
What's
to
wrong
make
with it?
I'm bred to make fun of Panic at the Disco because my wife likes Panic at the Disco, so
Yeah, because they're a good
My
band.
also likes Panic at the Disco.
yeah. Okay, it's fine.
It's
saying
a
they're-
wife band.
I'm saying it's not my cup of tea. That's all I'm saying. Okay,
It's probably It's probably
I don't
overplayed in
dislike
your
Panic.
presence.
I
Yeah.
don't dislike Panic at the Disco.
I do. Come at me, Brendan Urie or whatever your name is. I'll fight you.
I have heard that Brendan Urie is kind of a piece of shit.
I haven't even heard that, but that fuels my cause, so I'm glad to hear it.
It supports my
I could be
perception.
making that up.
Yeah. I've
I
got
feel
some
like I've heard
confirmation
something
bias
similar.
about that, RJ, actually. Okay.
All right,
My
what
top
were your top 5?
artists are Prof,
Prof.
Shinseiya, Jada Kingdom, Stefflon Don, and Amine.
Oh, you shared Amine.
I feel like yeah.
Amine's dope. Amine's probably my
Amine's-
top
I think
artist of
Amine's
this
been in your
generation.
I think Amine's been in your top 5 probably
Every
like
year.
every
For the
year.
past, since I've kept track of Wrapped, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Queens of the Stone Age, which I think has been my top artist most. It was definitely my top artist last year. It's definitely my top artist this year. Royal Blood, The Devil Makes 3, Corb Lund, and the Arctic Monkeys.
Interesting. You didn't say the Black Keys, right?
No,
Very
I
good.
don't listen to them anymore.
Wow.
I used to listen
Arctic
to them a bunch, but
Arctic Monkeys is like one of those bands I know one song of and nothing else.
I know
I
like a
learned
few.
the first time I ever heard the Arctic Monkeys was at a Black Keys concert. They were the opening act for the Black Keys, and I was like, "Damn, these guys fucking slap!"
Damn.
And I went home and I started listening to them more than the Black Keys.
Nice. So personality, I got the Time Traveler. You're like a musical time traveler, a sonic historian. You seek out music that's new to you, regardless of whether it's new to the rest of the world. Exploration, timelessness, variety, and uniqueness.
Yeah, that's your album deep dives, I would bet.
Yeah. I listen to.
Also-
Did it skip the podcast slides for you then? Because you don't listen to any?
Yeah, I don't. I have in the past, but I haven't listened to any podcast on Spotify this year. All the podcasts that I've listened to this year have been on YouTube.
I think my top artist had the least number of songs in my top songs. I could be wrong
Interesting.
because
Yeah.
I only had one song in my top song by any of my top 5 artists.
Wow. I
George,
only had 2 of my top 5 artists, but that's because 4 of them were the same artist.
I don't think I had any of mine.
Wow. But what was your question, Ryobii?
What was your total listen time for music in number of minutes? It's like 32 something?
No, 25,000.
25,000.
I have images of George wearing
I think I
Panic at the
I had
Disco
20,000.
beanie.
You had 25,000.
April in chat has said, I have images of George wearing a Panic at the Disco beanie.
Share them.
Don't share them.
Don't share them.
I have a bald head and I was cold.
Share them with us.
I was cold.
Yeah, it has not, and because your hatred of the band and your having to wear such attire kept you warmer.
Yeah.
What? I went straight to podcast next.
Yeah, because we just said that George didn't have any podcast.
I listen to
George
podcasts on
didn't have any
YouTube.
podcasts.
So I mean, y'all are welcome
Alright.
to talk about it. I don't know.
So
how
let's
many.
talk about
Let's
podcasts.
fight. Let's fight. I had 10,606 minutes.
5,111.
Dunk done. Oh, it's because of my stupid commute, though.
Podcasts.
That's not really a good thing.
Oh,
Top
yeah.
5 podcasts.
You know, it's my brother and me,
Yeah.
and then the Adventure Zone.
Uh-huh.
One that I mean to go back to is called Revolutions, and it's basically like a history.
I have 4 podcasts.
All right. The last two are Learning Japanese by Japanese Pod 101. That's like a thing I tried listening to just for like, well, yeah, learning. It was okay. I didn't get super far in it. And then the last one was like do you know the No Sleep subreddit? It's like horror stories. I found like a No Sleep podcast called, it's called the No Sleep Podcast, and it's basically kind of the same vibe, spooky stuff.
Okay. I listened to Not Another D&D podcast.
Yeah, NADPod.
Yeah,
NADPod. I listened to the next one was Critical Role, which is wild because I listened to like some of an episode of Critical Role and I was like, this is too much. It's moving too slow. I'm like, I can't. There's too much content here. I can't get into it.
Yeah.
So I listened to the bit of it, the like Critical Role like excerpt that was hosted by Brennan Lee Mulligan.
From College Humor?
Yeah, from College Humor. Exandria Unlimited Calamity. And that's pretty much all I listened to from Critical Role. That makes Critical Role my second most listened to podcast this year somehow.
Mm.
Then the Overly Sarcastic podcast.
Oh, you just got into that, right?
Yeah, I kind of just got into that. I think it would be over Critical Role if it counted
I would imagine.
like after November.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And then Dungeons and Daddies. So 3 D&D podcasts.
Oh yeah.
That's on brand.
One podcast by a YouTuber I watch. Or
yeah.
YouTubers I watch.
And I guess just to go into this, like, I don't know what counts as a podcast. Like, most of my podcasts are political too, so I don't, like, I listen to like the David Pakman show. I listen to Leftovers with Hassan and Ethan. I listen to the H3 podcast occasionally.
Yeah, those count.
Good stuff. But anyway, yeah, your personalities. I already said mine. The uniqueness, time traveler boy, or whatever.
Oh, well, you know I'm not unique. It was musicologist.
Musicologist?
Yeah, whatever that means.
Does it tell you what it means?
Wait, what the heck? Did I just delete it? No, I moved it.
You're
you're a buff of the beats, an aficionado of sound. You're in tune with music's past and present, gravitating towards songs that stand the test of time. I think that means I like popular songs.
Popular music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed right now. This is unrelated, but I was just checking on my next segment because I'm doing the Reddit thing, and 2 out of the 4 posts have been like removed by the moderator.
Deleted.
God, I love Reddit.
All right, it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'll go next.
Yeah, we'll start with yours.
Rick, you know who you are as the listener. Well, everyone's bathing in the mainstream. You're frolicking in that side stream. So, Spotify just called me out and called me a hipster. And I guess I am.
I mean,
a hipster, but you listen to the same hipsters.
A bunch. It's somewhere between calling me a hipster and like I once took one of those stupid personality like what animal are you kind of things. It was like what's your theme song? And I got Lady Gaga's Born This Way, and then I was like I'm suspicious of this. And I put in different answers and got Lady Gaga's Born This Way again. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's just giving everybody Lady Gaga's Born This Way every time. What they say.
There's like 3 songs, and only like 1 question determines your actual result.
Yeah, like, or there's 3 songs, and you have to pick very specific things to get to 2 of them, and then the like 90% of people are gonna get Born This Way.
That's kind of fun though, when you try to snipe an answer to like one of those personality things.
Exploration, timelessness, loyalty, uniqueness. It's like one of those personality.
I think,
like
Yeah, we just did that.
ETLU.
Wait.
Are you int J?
Yeah, it's a similar thing. Like
ETLU.
Like it has 4 categories that you can be one or the other or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it follows a similar structure. But I think you and I got a very similar one, RJ.
Yeah.
Give me yours again. Sorry.
Exploration, timelessness, loyalty, and uniqueness.
Sorry. Here it is. Exploration, timelessness, variety, and uniqueness.
Okay, yeah. My last one was George.
Variety and uniqueness. I got loyalty and uniqueness. That's why. Like we were one off.
Yeah, so we're both exploration, timelessness, uniqueness, but then you're just loyalty and I'm variety. So I'm just ever so slightly more varied than you are, basically.
I think any other year I would get variety. I think any other year, like certainly last year, I would get variety.
And it's weird because we don't have like we do have a lot of songs that we both like, but like our overall music tastes are not like that overlapping. You know what
Very
I mean?
dissimilar.
Yeah. So it's strange. But anyway, so Ryobii, moving on to yours, so we don't get too trapped.
what's your music
It's the same as George's,
personality type.
The same as George's, but the last one's different. It's commonality.
Oh.
So I guess I differ from each of you by 1, but it's a different one.
We both like we all like exploration and timelessness.
From me by 2.
Oh, what are you?
Because I have loyalty and uniqueness, and you have variety and commonality.
So I'm more similar to George's.
Interesting. So everyone's more similar to me. Punks.
All right. So
George is the true center.
Oh yeah.
To get just a segue. We spent a lot of time. It was an interesting conversation, but we spent probably more time on that one than we should have.
Yeah, we definitely did.
I didn't
Music is now.
I was worried about it because I didn't think it would take too.
Yeah, I was so shocked that you thought that. I was like, it's gonna take. If anything, it's gonna take too much time. Was my thought.
That went exactly like the personality thing did, where we each just want to talk about ourselves, and that's it.
Yeah,
That just lends to all right.
Well,
here's
I'm the
me.
most interesting person I know.
Yeah, me too. It's weird.
Oh god, for me. It's none of the 3 of you.
Oh yeah,
or 3 of us.
The 3 of you.
Yeah, I'm dissociating.
Yeah.
Whatever. Shut up. What I learned at boating school is
my mind first went to Ryobie's experiencing like hallucinations.
He probably is. Okay, Ryobii, what are we learning about PAX?
Yeah, I went to PAX Unplugged. It's a convention in Philadelphia, and I had a bunch of board games, card games, and tabletop stuff. So I went to a very particular panel ran by Geeknights, which is another podcast. So that was Rim and Scott. They're cool dudes, and
they're
I learned
almost
a lot.
as cool as us.
Oh yeah.
Basically, they do kind of like
have a podcast just successful.
They do. It's called Geeknights.
Wow, really? That's surprising.
They're a real podcast. Anyway, they had a panel called.
What do you mean? What do you mean, real podcast? What's
listen and find out. They had a thing called "Why is this game taking 4 hours to play?" which covered a bunch of different topics of like basically like how to kind of get the most out of a board game experience. And this matters a little bit more specifically in PAX when your time is limited. And so the whole point is to like find new games and try them out, possibly with like strangers. And you can use it as like a socialization thing if you want to, or if you go with a group, you can kind of just like do what you want. But they had a thing called fun economy. It's basically like this is applicable to specifically PAX in that situation where you're on a very like time sensitive thing, but also if you think about it on a broader scale of you have a game night with your friends every week, and it's like, all right, what are we gonna play, and deciding that, and it's like, all right, how much fun is any one particular game going to be versus how much time does it take to actually play? If you did something like something complicated like HeroScape, which I know you guys are familiar with, that's
HeroScape.
You shouldn't have said
HeroScape.
Yes, that takes a lot of time.
Yeah, yeah. Say, why does this game take 4 hours? Because because we can't do anything quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about like a fucking like 1 minute presentation that Spotify gives us for like
An
a
hour.
fucking hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that sense, it's like, okay, so when games take forever, is it the game's fault? Like Hero Escape is incredibly complicated, or is it the player's fault? As in, we can talk about literally not a minute's content for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So
Interesting.
The answer, of course, is both.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It
Like with
depends on the
most things.
situation.
Yeah.
So they covered a couple of topics. So like sometimes it's the game. Monopoly. That was one of their obvious
Yeah.
examples of it.
Monopoly
Monopoly is an objectively not fun game.
Yeah.
Not only is it like your decision making is rather limited, but
Yeah.
it rapidly approaches a point where
I was expecting George to come to bat for Monopoly.
no,
No,
no
like
defending it.
I think it's fun. I think any game really could be fun, even if it's just like a choose your own adventure that like you really don't have any autonomy, like true autonomy, as long as you're with friends. And I think the same goes for Monopoly. Like I've had fun playing Monopoly with friends, but I don't think Monopoly is like well optimized for fun, if that makes sense.
Yes, and so that was kind of the third aspect. Is like sometimes so it's in terms of the playing a board game, it's fun on one end, time spent on the second end, and then the third end is like the socialization aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Monopoly, it doesn't take that much brain power to play, so you're really leaning heavy on that last one to get
Yeah.
enjoyment.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But Monopoly was called out in particular. I thought it's like it by design. It's so easy to drag on, especially when one person is already winning.
Yeah,
People
that's
have
its
to
biggest problem.
people have to forfeit.
Yeah. Because like I was like beating, like we knew I was beating Andrew and RJ in a game that we played at like Andrew is my brother at like midnight, maybe 1 a.m. and we were up until like 7 a.m. playing Monopoly for the game to actually end.
Yeah.
We knew who won the game like
Four
maybe
times
like,
around the board, maybe.
yeah, 4 times around the board, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think we went around the board probably like 15 or 20 times.
At least.
And that's so the majority of the game like is spent with one person obviously being the winner.
Yeah.
Unless that person like purposely sabatages themselves to
It
like
is their
keep
game
things
to lose.
competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other players cannot. No decision they make will bring them back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Monopoly is very bad about that. It doesn't always happen, but it's really easy for it to
it
happen.
feels really
Yeah.
awful when it does.
Yeah.
Okay. So they talked about things like that. We'll get into solutions later, but like that, just to touch on that briefly, like one of those things is know when to walk away. If you know, for a game like Monopoly, if you choose to play it, if you know someone's going to win by like hour 3, maybe cut your losses because you're not going to get. It's not going to get more fun from there on out.
Yeah. You know what game I really like? Well, I guess I don't know if you're going to touch on it, so I
honestly, I want to hear about your specific takes at the end, and in particular, I want to apply this to video games we play because obviously this is more of a tabletop focus, and that's kind of how we can put our spin on it.
Yeah.
So something else they talked about was the
I desperately want to play more tabletop games, and I just like don't have the opportunity.
Yeah, tabletop sim. We got to learn tabletop sim is what it comes down to.
Yeah, like I built like that awesome like well I don't want to toot my own horn, but I built like a giant mountain map on the Heroescape tabletop sim to play on, and then we never did.
We refused to play it.
Yeah.
This is your fault, Ryobii.
What are you talking about?
I built like a giant mountain on tabletop sim, but then no one would ever play Heroescape with us.
George, I appreciate the effort you put in, but then I would have to play Heroescape.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And that's the downside.
What do you mean that's the problem? Heroescape is the fucking best.
Yeah, Heroescape slaps.
It's one of those things that's fun in theory, and then you sit down to play, and you're like, I've made a mistake.
I never had that experience
Okay.
with Heroescape personally, but
Sorry. So just to slightly keep this moving along here.
Yeah.
They did a lot of comparisons to like sports, and they had a term they called bushiness, which is amount of like viable strategies or move, like a number of moves that you can possibly make.
Mm-hmm.
Was rather interesting. So like for football, you have a bunch of a play. You can really do kind of like anything to move the ball forward, but it's like you're typically set in a certain number of plays throughout. It stays pretty constant throughout the match.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're if something's viable, you're not any more likely to use it at one point in the game except for then like if you do like a I'm trying to talk about football moves, and I'm realizing I know nothing about football, but
if you try to do the double triple spin attack,
yeah, if you try to like if you pass to receiver number 17 as he like goes deep left and then cuts to the middle, like that's like a set play, but you're not any more likely to use that at one point in the game over others. Well, broadly speaking.
Does that mean
except for certain cases where high risk, high reward plays, if you're losing at the very end of the game, you could do like onside kicks or something like that. Or go for plays on fourth downs.
Yeah. And then sort of the inverse, if you're winning in the fourth quarter, then you're more likely to just
you're more likely to kneel.
Yeah, kneel or take a run play so you don't throw an interception, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your strategy slightly evolves toward the end. And kind of the same thing with I think you can technically do this in soccer, but you're more likely to do it in hockey, is pull your goalie.
Yeah.
That's a completely awful strategy, broadly speaking. But if you're losing anyway,
in the last second,
like towards the end of the game, your options do increase.
I wonder how many times that's been
worked
effective.
Out?
Yeah, worked out.
Enough that people it's
a
not
shit
it's
ton
not so
in
much
soccer.
Like,
a shit ton in soccer because goalies will goalies are normally like 6'5", 6'4", so they get not normal, but a lot of the time like their average height is a lot higher than the average person. Yeah. So like they're very good for going up for headers. And so if they get a corner in the last, with the last kick of the game, a lot of times they'll, especially if it's like a knockout match or something like that, they'll send their goalie up. And a lot of times they're scored. Like I know there's a very famous goal where Joe Hart scored. I think he didn't even head it. He like the ball like fell off someone and something, and he sort of like half volleyed it. And it just like rocketed it into like the top bins. It was a beautiful.
That must
goal.
feel so good.
Yeah. But yeah, the goalie will occasionally score. Like I've seen a few highlights of like goalies.
It's a lot more dangerous in hockey because like in hockey, you're close enough. You could score from not too difficultly. Yeah, the goalie can score. Like it's not too difficult to score from like the complete other side of the rink.
Yeah.
I don't know if it counts.
I was in England when Tim Howard scored his goal as goalie. He's a US player, Tim Howard, but he played for Everton, the other team in Liverpool, besides Liverpool. And he was a very windy day, I think, and he just someone passed it back to him and he just booted it as hard as he can from his goal in soccer, and it bounced all the way and bounced so high that it bounced over the other team's goalie and went in. And he scored from 100 yards or whatever. And it was crazy. But I was in England. I was in England when that happened, and I saw Sky Sports Match of the Day or whatever when that highlight had happened that day.
Yeah, it definitely makes for like some really interesting scenarios.
Sorry,
that one was more of like a fluke. That wasn't like a
strategy.
We're losing the game.
Yeah.
That was a just clear it sort of thing.
Yeah. We just started talking and I got on a train. I don't know how we got
here.
It's
okay. No, that's fine. All right. So a couple other interesting concepts they talked about where we can get into this and once again address this with games we play, but games where it's how politics affect how long a game takes, where it just turns into discussion and or arguing, and how you could, for certain games that are not so nice designed, where it's like a what's the word, battle royale, so to speak. It's everybody on their own team. When you can pick one person, theoretically, so if you say Risk, if you were all playing Risk and you all decide to attack the same guy, they suddenly do not have a chance to win the game. You have decided that they are not winning.
Yeah. This is that sort of like game politics
That sounds bad.
thing is the exact reason why, I guess, sort of hot take, I don't like Cards Against Humanity. Because like I do have, like, in my household growing up, like, I'm pretty what's the word? Can litigious mean you just like to argue, or does it have to be like related to law?
I think that
you can just say you like to argue, which we
Yeah.
know is true.
Yeah. And so like and like my sister is the same way, so like Cards Against Humanity maybe competitive, but it's like
argumentative,
I suppose. Yeah. So that game just always turns into a debate, and then, like, you know, if someone doesn't pick theirs, then like they're like, oh, that was a terrible decision because of this, and this, and it's just like, oh my god, I don't care. Like, this takes all the fun out of
Yeah,
it.
like that's not the point.
Yeah.
That's very much not the point of the game. It's funny.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah. So you don't like Cards Against Humanity for a problem that, I don't know. I think
that might be a people.
I think you experience it a lot more with your family than.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's just kind of tainted.
It definitely does happen with any group.
It's
part of it. It's inherently part of Cards Against Humanity, but I think it happens a bearable degree for most people.
Yeah.
To kind of touch on that, because we've also stumbled across another solution that we'll talk about later, is play with different people.
Yeah.
Certain games, like I'm not going to play you. I'm not going to play Rocket League with you two, because like I will drag you down, and it will not be fun for me or you.
It would be fun for me.
It's not that I don't like. Yeah, it's not that I don't like. It's not that I don't want to like play games with you guys, but it's like some. It's like it's too big of a gap. It will just. It will turn into a coaching session, and I will probably just get frustrated. Same reason, like it's like certain games you play with certain people. It's like I play League of Legends with these guys because like that's just kind of how we roll.
Yeah.
Pod does a thing called D&D Court,
especially D&D,
where they talk about like that, like people will like send in things that are like arguments they had about D&D, and they kind of like decide who's in the right and who's in the wrong, and like so often Murph's advice is to just find different people to play D&D with. He's just like, get new friends.
There's a lot of different ways you can play it, and
like,
if you're not
very frequently.
That's why I stopped. Like I unsubscribed from what's the subreddit that's basically like, it's like Tales from D&D basically, and it just turned into
D&D
almost.
Wait, it was RPG horror stories.
Yeah. It just all the stories started being the same, where it's just like, this one guy in our group is a cockhead. What should I do? It's like, well, you should
kick him out.
Kick him out, and if you can't, leave. Like,
yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, certain games you play with certain people. If you want to play like HeroScape with like your family, that's a bad idea. They won't enjoy it, and you enjoy having to teach them.
Oh, I guess like trying to play with a Gen X. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like if there's like more, like certain games, play with people who want to be there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then the last thing here, just to briefly touch on this, they talked about how games can kind of get bogged down when you can kind of. This is broadly speaking for like strategy games, but like certain games are a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? Not obtuse, but like easy to figure out what the ideal play that you should do is.
Shallow, easy, I don't know.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess it's not so much simple. It's that you may be paralyzed by the amount of decisions you could possibly make, but then also within that there could be one mathematically optimal thing to do, and if you take the time, like if you take like 10 minutes, you could calculate it, and then do that thing and take forever.
Yeah, I was super disappointed when I looked it up at like the top level of like Monopoly play. Like people were basically just like, yeah, just buy everything. It's like that's all it is, really. Just buy
Yeah.
everything.
That's
Cool.
that's what I realized. That's what that after that one game that I played against you and you like scrubbed me and your brother out. I was like, yeah, it seems like the best way to play this game is to just buy everything and land on
Reparking.
the best spaces first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much RNG based.
Yeah, a lot of
So,
luck.
but for something like they used some like stock trading game where one of their friends that they played with would basically sit down and be like, all right, if this happens, and they would like not, I don't know if they actually pulled out a calculator, but it was basically like the equivalent of that. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this move. And it's like, okay, it's been a full 5 minutes of you just like sitting there tapping away.
Interesting.
And like that's just not fun
That's
for
how I
anyone.
play chess.
Now
How
you just
dare
get the
you.
computer to play for you. So starting to get into solutions, they did a little bit on heuristics, which are basically, if you're not familiar, kind of evolutionary shortcuts that your brain makes to make decisions.
Uh-huh.
So your heuristics is an incredibly broad topic. So, but just some examples are like there is a you're not doing math when you see this top one in this table here. You're not doing math to figure out the trajectory of a fly ball when it's coming towards you, or like catching an object in midair, pretty much.
Uh-huh.
What you do biologically is you look at the object and you back up or you move towards it to get the ball to like stay the same size. And yeah, so and basically you move until it's your eyes do something to absorb that information, and you stand under where it's going to land. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're not doing like the whole air resistance physics of F equals ma like calculation. You're not filling out like a physics worksheet. Like your brain does this automatically.
Yeah.
And then they started to get into some of the other like just general like more game specific options where it's like if you don't know what to do on any particular turn and you're taking forever, look at what other people are doing and just do what they do. If somebody's does a move and it works out well for them, think about that and why it worked. It's like, okay, maybe I should just do what they do. They specifically referred to a strategy of like, look at what the person to your left is doing. Like say like I don't know, any like resource game, it's like, oh, they're going for like wheat. Well, I go in the turn order, I go immediately before them. So if I go for wheat, I'll take all the wheat before they can get any, sort of thing. So if you copy what the person on the left is going to do, you at the very least foil their strategy and therefore increase your odds.
Yeah.
So anything like that. And then anything where there's like a symmetrical game board, thinking about like what decisions actually matter. It's like, oh, should I move here, and it's like, well, actually, if you think about it, it's the same distance away from like this object, so it not either space will work. There's no difference. And then lastly was positional. It's like, oh, should I go for this person, this person? This is very like Munchkin-esque. It's like, all right, everybody gang up on the person in first, sort of thing, and that's just like that's what you should do.
Yeah.
You use your resources on whoever's going to win. And then directional is just like recognize winnable situations. So that's something like, oh, I have 4 of the same suit in my poker hand. That's pretty good. The odds are pretty decent that there would be like 1 more heart that gets flipped up.
Yeah.
I can work with that or something like that.
Yeah.
So anything where it's like if you have a straight, statistically speaking, nobody else is going to be for any given hand that you're likely to win that hand. Do those make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be applying these as much. So like, I just thought this is interesting. I could talk forever about these. I really could do like more research into them. But in terms of like, well, I guess we can get into it when we get into like games, but like for copying other people, that'd be like watching streamers or something like that. And then arbitrary decisions. It's just like, oh, should I go here, here? And then actually think about, okay, well, focus on important decisions and not like, oh, what should my like mouse sensitivity be? And it's like, well, actually, if you're not dying because you're like aiming that much worse than everybody else, you're dying because you're standing out of cover or something like that.
Yeah. I do apologize. I do have to pee real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I tried to hold it.
No worries. I'll queue up this next slide here.
So, what's your favorite board game, Ryobii?
My favorite board game that I played or ever?
Ever. I mean, I would assume your favorite board game ever is what you played.
I don't know. It's probably changed over time. They're kind of basic answers, but I like Catan and I like Ticket to Ride, but honestly, I don't play board games super often.
I mean, obviously, my favorite one is fucking HeroScape! Yes! HeroScape! But,
Is that gonna happen
another
every
really
time?
good one. Yeah, it's gonna happen every time.
Okay.
Another good one is DVD Clue. It's Clue, but it comes with a DVD that has like pre-built scenarios and like events that happen. Like it's a little more interesting and involved than Clue.
Interesting. I've never played that version, so I can't really speak to it.
Yeah.
Is it like technically the same game but with like higher production value, or does it alter the rules a little bit?
A little bit of both. It's still basically the same concept, but like it works a little bit differently.
Okay.
Like there'll be there's kind of like a story, and like after like X number of turns, like I think it's X number of turns or whatever. Like there's a guy who'll call you into a room and be like, "Hey, here's some new information."
Oh, so they give everybody certain clues.
Yeah, they give everybody certain clues. There's also like a weird thing where you can go like down secret passages, and there's like a chance you can get like fucking like knocked out or something like that. I don't know. I haven't played it in ages, and I really, really want to play it again, but I haven't had a good opportunity.
At the very least, it speeds up the game.
I hate Clue for the same reason Ryobii was sort of talking about Monopoly. Like, there isn't much input. Like, your input into the game doesn't vary hardly anything in Clue.
You can't really affect each other.
Yeah. You can't really affect anything besides.
There's not really any choices made.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's like the only fuck up you can do is not writing stuff down properly.
Like you could try. You could kind of deduce based on like what other people are guessing.
Yeah,
but that's the only.
That's about it. And that's only right at the end when people are guessing.
Yeah.
Or well, I guess people have to guess all the time.
You can guess throughout the game.
Yeah. But I mean, like the only really relevant guesses are when people have more and more information. Because at the beginning they're obviously just like, you know, throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks.
Also, I want to show off. I want to show off my HeroScape.
Oh.
Your collection? Do you have it down here with you?
He can't hear you.
Oh yeah, right. Delay.
No, he took off his headset.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Yes. You're saying delay.
He still had it on.
I see. Video delay. I thought you meant audio delay. Sorry.
I've probably played HeroScape less than 10 times.
I love HeroScape.
That'll happen.
We should have a HeroScape session again over Christmas break.
Absolutely not.
No, you guys. We're talking about it in person.
And tell me about it.
You're not even invited anymore.
Yeah, I shouldn't be.
Yeah, you HeroScape hater.
It's the It's the Michiganders game only.
Yeah.
Thank you for not. But I do want to hear about
it.
Actually, you know what we should do is get Ryobii on like a FaceTime or something.
Yeah, someone can move for him.
I refuse.
So okay, we'll do that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, solutions part 2. So other than
I like forcing Ryobii to do things he
doesn't want to do.
he
You can
vocally
try.
tells us he doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
You can try.
All right,
We
let's move
succeeded
on,
a
move
lot
on,
with
move on.
golf, so
You succeeded with what?
golf with your friends.
Yeah, that's true.
Golf is okay.
Extremely
Honestly,
frequently.
I liked it less. I thought it was fine at first, and then I liked it less when you implemented your different rule sets. But anyway,
Enforce
maybe
it,
we can get to that at
enforce
the
it,
end.
enforce.
Uh,
We
when your
also
friend is
use
taking
an
forever to
enforcer
move-
in Heroescape.
Oh my god.
Huh?
Yeah, so you guys should like these first 2 solutions. Is when somebody's taking forever to take their turn, hit them or chant. We're big fans of chanting here, so I thought you guys would find that. We're already doing one of these things.
Yeah.
Find different friends, play a different game.
Yeah, so those
RJ's
2 we
highly
kind of touched
offended
on
by
before.
that. The find different friends part.
Yeah.
Everyone should abandon RJ.
No, but it's
Huh?
if RJ really wants to play Heroescape,
Maybe you
find
should
people who
different
find people
friends.
who really want to play Heroescape.
Like me.
Yeah. Like
If
George.
only Heroescape was fun 2-player. Like, it's not awful 2-player, but it's much funner. I
Yeah.
think, like, 4 is ideal. Quite like GTA. You want at least 4.
I thought you said if only Heroescape was fun to play.
If only you
Like,
could get
yeah, if only it was fun to play.
No, it is very fun to play. If only it was fun to play as a duo.
Yeah. Okay. But
it's
yeah,
not too
so,
bad to play on your own.
RJ, you're making me sad.
That
Oh,
was
God.
the intention, yes.
No.
Move
Okay.
on, move on, move on.
All right. So other things we can do to speed it up is read the rules. Especially if you're like trying out a game like for the first time, or it's like, oh, somebody's trying to teach you. Is don't just like make them recite everything verbatim and then get mad at them when they forget one thing. Like, make some effort. Read the rules.
Yeah.
Play more than once. You can't expect to become a master of it if you're going to be only touching a game once and then never again. It's like, oh man, that game sucked. It's like, no, because you didn't know how to play.
Unless it really sucked. Can I have
if
that
it really,
asterisk? If it
if it really sucked, then see the other solution to play a different game.
Yeah, exactly. I like
What's
that.
a facilitator?
That's play with
It's
someone
like
who's
an
not
enforcer.
playing but knows how to play.
No, it's like an
This is-
enforcer.
Oh.
So if anyone makes a wrong
No,
move, they
it's not
punch you in the
enforcer.
head.
I thought it was like playing with a sex toy.
No.
Ooh, I like that better actually.
No,
Like,
that's
like some vibrating anal beads that tell you which piece to move or something.
Yeah.
It tells you
something
what to
about
do,
that.
then it's a facilitator. But otherwise, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it does tell you what to do.
Yeah.
It fucking
It vibrates when you need to move your knight or whatever. All right.
exactly.
Oh.
Oh, you're making the. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, no, I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
You're referencing. I was like, it does. I thought you were talking about beads that were giving you like.
What do you
instructions
mean?
on How to do sex good?
Yo,
It's like still a secret,
Oh
but it's
my
like still a
God.
secret. So you can like pretend that you're really like know what you're doing when you don't.
That actually that's $1 billion idea, Ryobii. I'm not
Is
even
it? I don't think so.
not even gonna hate.
Maybe if it was like Bluetooth and you just sneak an earbud in.
Like it's like just Google Glass, but it'll like highlight the areas you're supposed to rub and shit, you know?
This is why Google Glass failed, because it didn't have this application.
Exactly. Morons.
I need VR. Where to touch?
They should have released Google Glass, and then for $100 extra, they should have released sexy Google Glass.
It also has
Yeah.
like X-ray vision, so you can just see through people's clothes. It's really invasive. It would have been great. It would have been
It
great.
won't see through people's clothes, but it will take pictures of your credit card.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's play with a facilitator, and then recognize common mechanics. Sometimes, like if you see like I don't know, that's just kind of like, oh, this game's just like Uno, and then I know how to play Uno, and it's like I should try to like use these cards in a certain way. It's like you just when games borrow from each other, and when you see something that's like a shared strategy, it's like, oh, I've never played this game, but I played this game that was kind of similar, so I'm already in a better spot than somebody who's brand new.
Yeah.
All right, so discussion topics. What games? So we talked about like, oh, sometimes it is the game's fault, sometimes it's people's fault. What games have you guys played where it's a bad game? It takes forever.
I wouldn't say a bad game, but I think even the quickest Access and Allies players would take like half a day. Access and Allies take so fucking
Access
long.
and Allies take so long.
It's even the setup alone is just
I've never
nonsense.
actually properly played it. I have seen a set board mid-game stowed away in a closet that like people were of like
I love the
like
game.
a friend's house.
I loved the game as a kid. Never finished it.
To go back to that guy bingo, but we can move on.
Yeah, let's move on because I want to get to at least one or two of mine.
That's true.
But yeah, I would go with Access and Allies for sure.
Oh my god, it's so late.
Yeah.
Oh, should we move on with the segment, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Last thing I want to touch on. But applying to the video games we play, when we play like a lot of like the kind of flavor of the month shooters like Apex or Overwatch or even Paladins to a degree, I think like in a lot of cases it's like we apply fun economies like subconsciously of like, oh, what do we all know how to play and doesn't take that long to set up.
Yeah.
But it's only like amount of fun. Let's do those, and that's kind of how we end up on a lot of those things.
Yeah, like Overwatch.
Yeah, it's like
sometimes Overwatch, you suck.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I guess we'll just play Overwatch, and it's just because it's easy to set up. And that's like, oh man, let's just play Uno, and then you still have like a decent time playing Uno, even though it's like the game itself is like, it's okay, but you're still like socializing. It's really about that aspect more.
Yeah,
like something like GTFO. I do hope we revisit that. We just played that for the first time earlier this week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I felt like we had a much better handle on it this time than when it was just me and George.
Yeah.
Me and George couldn't figure dick out.
Yeah. I like that it's challenging. It's fun to actually play a challenging game for once. But like, one last thing about tabletop game. Sorry.
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I because I loved playing Munchkin with you guys so much, I got the Marvel version and played it with my family on some like, staycation at an Airbnb type thing, and it was so unbalanced. Like no one could counter at all. Like anytime you tried to stop someone, they would try to stop me from killing something, and I would have enough damage to kill like all of their if they all put down all their cards at once, and I had enough damage to just damage through all of it, and it didn't matter at all.
I think Munchkin is a game that takes a little too long.
Yeah, that's true. This version didn't take too long, the Marvel version, because it was so unbalanced that whoever got ahead of the pack just stormed away with it and won. Yeah.
In terms of this panel, Munchkin was as egregious it was as much of a sinner as Monopoly. They ripped into Munchkin, which is fair. It's basically Candyland, but you get to choose who wins.
Yeah,
and that's why the strategy is to be the least hated player at the table.
Yeah, that is true.
It's completely random the cards you draw, and it's like, it's fun. It's a socialization aspect is kind of what sells it, and laughing at the funny cards. Yeah, and that's why it's entertaining. Yeah, but it's not a good game.
Yeah, it is very diminishing returns. Like the funnest I had playing Munchkin was the very first game I ever played of it.
Yeah,
and then it's been worse. Each sequential game has been worse.
Yeah, that one definitely depends on people.
Especially since we played it like on our trip to Boston. Like weekend long trip to Boston. We spent like a full day playing Munchkin, and that felt like a huge waste of time.
I thought it was great, but it wasn't.
Wait, was it raining?
Yeah, it was raining too.
It was raining.
So it's like
it was raining. So like fair enough. But it feels like it's like, oh, I get to go to a new city and like an actual city where like I can go out and like do things and we spent
it wasn't a whole day.
We played
like
Munchkin
4 hours.
We played Munchkin like twice, so that was like
4 hours.
Yeah, so
probably
4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5, maybe 6.
Because we did one in the freaking rain. Okay, anyway, that's kind of the end of my thing.
Yeah. Okay, let's go into the dating advice real quick, because we don't have much time. All right, so I'm just
planning.
I just got a couple posts from, I don't know if I'll get to all 4, but posts from relationship advice and dating advice, the subreddits. And let me switch the screen. I was waiting for you to switch the screen for some reason. I'm like, Ryobii, come on.
me too. I was like moving my mouse around. I'm like, do I do anything?
Yeah. So the first one, short and sweet. I literally just got this because, like I said earlier in the podcast, 2 of them got deleted. So this is one of the replacements. I didn't screen this, but besides the title, which is "Do All Men Cheat?" Any thoughts on the title? Do all men cheat?
Nope, keep going.
Okay. This is not an attack to the male gender. I'm obviously a female though, and I really and truly can say that I've not had one single relationship where I haven't been cheated on. I'm in a relationship now. My boyfriend cheated on me in the beginning of our relationship. Call me whatever, but I have so much love for this one. I'm trying to suck it up, and I know if it's meant to be, it's gonna be. For now, things are going great, but I feel that I'm so traumatized by all my past relationships that my trust is broken. I've been to therapy. I'm a big-time overthinker, highly emotionally intelligent, and just don't know how to think with my head instead of my heart most times.
So it's just gonna jump in right here. That's not what emotionally intelligent means. Okay, continue.
That's the end. We're done.
All right, you guys can comment first.
RJ?
Say you're gonna jump in right here. That was the end.
Yeah, it was a little.
Oh,
bit
I guess
deep,
ahead of RJ's comments. At least.
Yeah. RJ?
I don't have any comments. And I don't know.
No comments.
All right. I'll make a second comment. I wish that was one of the ones that got deleted.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you emotionally intelligent? No.
How is this my fault? I didn't read it.
No, I'm not you.
That's why it's your fault.
I didn't read it. It was it was on the podcast. I didn't have time to read it. I literally found this while we were just talking.
Maybe go through the ones you had vetted.
Well, I chose not to read any of them for the spice.
No, we need to. Yeah, George likes to be surprised in this specific circumstance. Hold on. In this case, okay, just let me reiterate, because I do try to take these seriously at some point.
Yeah.
Even forever, how much it makes me angry.
Fair.
I've been cheated on in every relationship. Okay, that's kind of a bummer.
Problem.
maybe when something when you constantly encounter people you categorize as assholes, I think there's like some sort of saying where it's like maybe you're the asshole. Like there's some catchy thing to go along with that. But yeah, if every relationship you get in is like they treat you like dirt, maybe you're picking really bad. Maybe you're just awful at picking good people to become partners with.
That's all. That's really all it is. Because I mean, in the modern day, it's very unlikely that your only options in the dating pool are entirely assholes. Like that's not to say that there aren't a lot of assholes, but if you're choosing literally 100% assholes, then there is some error in your picking algorithm, so to speak.
Yeah. Alter your standards in some way.
Yeah, alter the parameters in the algorithm.
That reminds me of
parameters, yes.
I think it was like a tweet from some girl who like had said like a similar thing like I only attract fuckboys, and then her friend was like, girl, you're a woman, you're an attractive woman, you attract everyone, you choose fuckboys.
God, I remember that. That's like, yes, you attract you attract everyone, and then it's you pick the worst people.
And it isn't sexist to point out.
And I understand that, like, you know, you get fooled.
And like for the longest time, I feel like the thinking has been like, because like the whole deal of feminism is like the equality between like men and women are, you know, have equal opportunity and are completely equal in society. So I think a lot of people bring that mentality to sexuality when it is just not true. I mean, a recent study just came out that basically said that men, like 70% of men have high sex drives while 30% of women do. And it's just like they are biologically different when it comes to sex.
Almost seems low.
With 30% of women having a high sex drive seems low.
No, 70% of men.
Oh, seems low. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. and so it's like and you see this with like Tinder. It's the reason that like guys are so much more thirsty on Tinder. Like if you see an attractive girls Tinder, anyone they swipe right on, anyone will be a match. But even like an attractive guy, it's still gonna be like, you know, in like, you know, around like half or something, like a coin flip. Versus
that
like
online dating is very much a numbers game. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
there's only so many people, and there's a lot more dudes than there are girls on online dating. Not as sometimes that's also just like a.
I think that might be just generally true of dating.
Yeah.
I don't think so. There's a lot of maybe interested in a relationship, perhaps, or at least not a relationship. Interested in doing the nasty, so to speak.
Yeah. To get in the door.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And online dating is just a means to that end.
Yeah.
Specifically online dating.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got? Sorry, just pick better people. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. How to annoy a
Oh,
seductress.
I don't think we can give you actionable advice on like how to like
How to
Be better.
divine the fucking like
Make a decision matrix.
Yeah. Oh yeah, how to pick better people. Is there I think like I don't know, like people I don't know, it really depends on what you're looking for too. Like you want people to be genuine and kind, but then there's so many more factors that make up a person outside of those things, you know. So
yeah, people are so incredibly monumentally complicated.
Yeah.
Like
and dating profiles really do not encapsulate anyone accurately enough.
yeah. Okay, so how do you annoy?
I feel like you could look at a commonality of the people you're dating outside of outside of the cheating aspect, and maybe consider
conclusions.
Consider that some of those commonalities might be like a red flag.
Also, like taking the green flag direction. Just a thought, like find some friends that you have that are in good relationship, and like look at some of like
their boyfriends.
Yeah.
How did they meet?
How did they meet, and what are some of the qualities that they find, you know, attractive about their partners or whatever. Ask your friends. I don't know.
Doesn't cheat on me. That's the only factor.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome.
I think
he's
one of
never
the biggest
talked to me, but he's also never cheated on me. He's never said a word.
one of the biggest ones. I think one of the biggest ones is don't do online dating.
I don't know.
You're finding all these like people off Tinder or something like that. It's like
I think
maybe it's not.
It's less of like don't do online dating and like maybe change the app that you're using. Like if you're using Tinder, maybe use something like Hinge or something.
Yeah.
Some of them are a little more.
Or like Christian Mingle.
Or Farmer Mingle.
Farmers only.
Yeah.
Or OnlyFans. Just try and like bid up
farmers.
Just go on to like Belle Delphine's OnlyFans and just try and bid enough to get her to notice you, you know?
Spoiler, you can't.
Okay.
Not because she won't notice you, it's because somebody else will bid more.
Yeah, exactly. How to annoy a seductress. I'm male 24, currently on holiday with my best friend, his brother and his friends. I never met his brother's friends before. One of them, female 20, was all over me on the first 3 to 4 days of the holiday, and now she is flirting with one of the other guys while she is giving me side looks. She was flirting with that guy before she met me, but stopped for a few days. Apparently, it's what she does, I suppose. I don't really like her, and normally I wouldn't care, but I find extremely annoying. I find extremely annoying the way she does it. That's a very weird sentence. And especially those side looks. Any ideas what I can do to annoy her / mess with her a bit? Edit 1.
If you're on vacation with this person, I would say don't start anything.
Yeah.
Ignore her.
Wait, but it's not done. It's not done. Edit.
Okay.
I found 2 local girls who I can have a threesome with.
What?
Should I go?
That escalated.
Should I go and brag about it just to annoy her? I hate bragging and one-night stands. I feel like it's gonna be against anything that I stand up for. It's stand for, but He said stand up for. That's stupid.
This man is somehow displaying more foresight than more critical thinking than the first person, as hard as it may be to believe. They're like, I'm pretty sure
Such a
I
low
won't
bar.
do this at all, but should I just do this to out of spite?
No,
Is that like cool?
you're on vacation with this person.
This person is my age. Well, 1 year younger than me. Like, come on, my guy, grow up. It's a. I mean,
first off, it's a 20. Yeah,
it's a 20-year-old.
There is a
just
there's
being
not that big
a
gap, but there is a big
snidey
gap
or whatever
between 24, 23, and 20.
I bet this is exactly how I got together with one of my high school girlfriends. Was just like we were kind of flirting, and then I went and flirted with someone else at like a work party, and then she came up while I was flirting with that other person and made a show about giving me her number. So it's like, it can't be that she's just trying to make you jealous, like to try and make a move or whatever. But if you're not interested, just leave her alone. I'd like all the animosity is so unnecessary.
What do you get out of this?
You know what the best way to deal with annoying people is to not engage with them.
Yeah,
it's to annoy them back.
Yeah,
that's like the worst thing you can do is try to get back at them. Like
if you
you know what would be a better thing to do is just tell her to stop.
yeah, or just say nothing. That's the most effective way, I feel like, because they're doing it for a reaction. Whatever that reaction is, they're doing it for a reaction.
Saying nothing is the best way to go about this. But I'm saying that there are other ways other than saying nothing that are also better than what you're considering.
Yeah,
there are other bad choices that are better than thinking about. What is it even having a threesome, or was it
just
showing off the fact that they could have a threesome if they wanted to?
And he just says he found 2 local girls who I can have a threesome with. I don't even think we should take him at his word that that's true.
Yeah.
He might have just assumed that.
I matched with 2 girls on Tinder. I bet they'd be down for this.
Yeah.
Let me go show my phone screen to this girl. She'll definitely think I'm cool. That's like, why do you just said you're not interested in her? Why do you stop? End of sentence.
2 local hosts at the Red Lobster said I was cute. I'm pretty sure I can bed them now.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
2 women that I'm pretty sure are prostitutes.
I tipped at least 15%.
Yeah, I guess anyone at any time could have a threesome, technically. I mean, as long as you have a couple $100.
But this guy's pretty sure.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Can I keep my age preference on dating apps 18 to 30 after I turn 22? I am a 21-year-old guy who is turning 22 on this 22nd of December, and I use dating apps. Currently, my age preference for girls is 18 to 25. Can I change it to 18 to 30 after I turn 22? That's because, according to Half Your Age Plus 7, a 22-year-old can date an 18-year-old and a 30-year-old can date a 22-year-old. Is 18 to 30 really fine at 22? Note, I will only go for an 18-year-old if she is in college and out of high school. I am also in college, who will be graduating next year. I never drink or smoke, so drinking age isn't an issue either if she is 18 to 20. Plus, I never had a girlfriend before, so I am not that experienced either.
I couldn't tell.
And I'm still living with my parents, too. And I'm also old enough to go for 28 to 30-year-olds.
No, you're not. You're at home, and you don't...
There's like a 30-year-old female lawyer. She's like,
yeah, I'm interested in this kid who's has no experience and still lives at home.
Damn, son, you live in your mom's basement?
I can't really dunk on people for living. I just moved, so...
Yeah, I'm about to move back in with my parents, so... Just temporarily, though.
Oh. Oof.
Yeah. But that's neither here nor there.
Thanks, parents.
We love you, parents.
We love you. Thank you for supporting us.
Yeah. No.
On one hand, I'm like, no, it's fine, you're being stupid. On the other hand, I don't like how much thought you're putting into this.
Yeah. It's like, sorry, I should clarify. I'm not making fun of them for living with their parents at 22. That's very normal, especially in today's economy. I'm more making fun of them for overthinking so much about the 28 to 30-year-olds he's gonna date.
Yeah, assuming you're going to attract anyone of that age range with your current situation. That's what's funny. It's not even wrong. Maybe you will. Maybe you will.
It's just
But
unlikely.
it's just statistically improbable.
Yeah.
If you go ahead, set it to 20, include 30. Go up to 40. Go for it.
When I was on dating apps, I would
Go up to fucking 50.
What a 50.
I would set the young one, but the top one I would just set to the max because like a lot of people didn't know how to change their Facebook age, so they would just be like 900 from when they were like 12 and setting up a Facebook account, but you had to be at least 13, so they set their birthday to like 1700 or whatever. Yeah. So that type of shit. So I would just set it to max. Like who gives a fuck, and then swipe left on people that you don't like.
Yeah, I mean, unless it adds a bunch of people who you're not interested in. But that's the thing.
All. Like, there weren't that many like 50-year-olds on Tinder when I was on there. At least, especially not ones that had you in their age range too.
Yeah.
If they are legitimately 50, then their age range is going to be like 45 to 65 or whatever.
Yeah, it's going to overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to overlap.
Yeah.
Rather.
Unless they're looking for some young stud.
I admire this guy's confidence, though.
Yeah.
Like, I've never dated before.
Seem very confident to me.
Sounds right? And also the whole is that like half your age plus 7 or something like that? I think you're holding yourself to that rule. I don't think that's like a
that's a rule.
Oh, is it frowned upon?
Yeah,
it's all subjective.
Yeah, and
that being said, dating, especially towards the lower end, that's a little iffy. That's a gray area.
Yeah.
Very much depends on your situation. You and the person you're interested in.
Yeah.
It's all technically legal, but yeah, just be aware of how things may look.
Mm-hmm.
And be aware that some people may be more impressionable than others, especially if they're younger than you.
Yeah. I think his like line of thinking is more or less okay. Like the stage of life you're in, don't date outside of that when you're early on. Like if you're high school, don't date outside of high school. If you're college, don't date outside of college. And then like I get like post college dating at college is fine, but definitely don't go like
college to high school.
Yeah, college to high school or post college to high school. Because that's bad news. You're creepy. Even if they're 18, you're creepy, bro. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
and even that's the thing. Even if it's fine and you're both chill about it and you're both mature and you're like both respectable, you got to be aware that it looks bad.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
It may be fine between the two of you. You might still have a healthy relationship, but it looks not great.
Yeah.
Optics. Your PR person will advise you against it.
It's like Drake. Nothing ever happened to him because he was like Instagramming and messaging like 13-year-old people and stuff. Or, alleged or like 16-year-old people. I can't remember. He got like caught like messaging younger people. Then maybe was like it was like creepy. He wasn't saying anything weird, but it's just like I don't know. It's a little weird that Drake is messaging these different teenagers, these different female teenagers. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, like I said,
there's
optics not great.
Yeah, the PR. Think about your PR.
Yeah, PR.
Sometimes
protect your personal brand.
I wonder what the optics of me with my wife are. We're only 1 year apart, but she's 4'9" and not super unfrequently is mistaken for a child, and.
Yeah, but that's just sort of like, like, a rarity, I guess.
How,
you know what I mean? Like
what
am I trying to say?
What can I joke about? Does Tally listen to the show?
No, I'm not even trying to joke about anything.
She can't stand us.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I can't stand us either. I never listen to the show.
That's fair. I can't stand us either.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know what I was trying to say. I think it's just like she's especially her height, it's like to an extreme on the spectrum, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So like yeah.
Does she actually get mistaken for a child?
Yeah.
Does she get mistaken for your child?
I don't know. Like one time we went to a restaurant together and they asked us if we wanted a kids menu.
Did she?
And I have no idea what the fuck they thought our relationship was.
Sometimes they got good stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can get good deals.
Yeah. All right, last one. Told me if we got married, I have to sign a prenup. Is this a red flag? Basically, my GF is pretty tech savvy and was YouTube famous at one point. Quit and deleted all her socials for a few years and now is sort of TikTok famous. She makes decent money from the online stuff and then works at firm as a paralegal. We were discussing marriage and what we want in a marriage, and she mentioned she would ask whoever she gets married with to sign a prenup in terms of divorce. I told her it seemed like she was planning to get divorced, and she said if there's a 50% chance if something happens, why would I not prepare for it for both our sakes? And explain some legal mumbo jumbo about why. It seems a little impersonal and immature to me.
God.
Am I overthinking it? There's some other small red flags that tie into this, like her having 2 ex-fiancés and being engaged twice, among other things. Those mean the same thing, my guy. My guy. If she had 2 ex-fiancés, then yeah, she'd be engaged.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're both 25. Regarding engagements, for her culture, it is normal to be married by this age, and she's gotten hell from her family for not being married yet. Engagement 1, arranged marriage from her parents. Okay, so that doesn't really count. They surprised her with introducing them, and the guy's family was offering to take care of her family financially while her dad was sick and her mom's never worked. Her dad had a business, and the dude's dad did too. They wanted to combine them together, and my GF and the guy take over. Dude was fully aware it was just for business, but again, GF is gorgeous. She ended it because she didn't want to marry for money and thought he was a creep. Engagement 2, boyfriend of a few years proposed to her in public, and there were cameras and both the families around. They had already talked marriage, and she told him she didn't want to yet. He was 5 years older and pressuring her. Proposed anyway, and she didn't want to embarrass him / her family, so she said yes in public and told him the real answer in private. He begged her to reconsider, and she did, but called it off for good 1 month later. At first, I didn't believe the second one because it doesn't make much sense to me, but everyone I've talked to in her personal life that was there when it happened said that she looked pissed and was just forcing a smile. So IDK, maybe not red flags, but not a whole lot of people our age casually declining marriage proposals. Oh my god, that was a lot.
I put my head down on my
desk. It's almost like you should like vet these questions beforehand.
I did vet them their length.
No, that one was fine. No, this one we can talk about. And
I did vet.
I put my head on my desk and then my model like disconnected because I forgot that's how that works.
Yeah.
That I think like adequately.
My favorite thing about your model is that sometimes it blinks with only one eye. That's okay. The best.
No, that's how that's actually how that's not a glitch. I blink with one eye sometimes.
Dang.
I got a cybernetic eye.
Like one eye first and then the next.
Okay, let Ryobii get his thoughts up.
Okay, basically everything after the when it's like engagement 1, I'm just like, all right, put a pin in that. Everything below that doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In terms of this question.
Yeah.
I also thought it was hilarious. Oh, she's a paralegal, and then she starts explaining what a prenup is and like why it's a good idea. Yeah. And there was and she's like, it was described as legal mumbo jumbo. You're literally talking to a paralegal. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Piss me off.
But I mean,
it's a bunch of bullshit from somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. It's literally the person who knows the oh my.
I mean, there is a little bit of bullshit.
So
I mean, legal mumbo jumbo could be. I mean, could be used to describe like shit I cannot parse and from an expert.
Like in defense of that guy, I will say that like she says like, oh, for both our sakes, but really prenups mostly help the person who has more money going into the marriage traditionally, because like, you know, especially if you're in like a no fault state and you don't have a prenup, because then it's like it just goes 50-50 in the divorce, and so the person who is making, say, you know, one person is making 80% of the income, you know, that's like a 30% loss for them, whereas it's like the opposite for the other person.
It makes the the divorce proceedings are already like can be incredibly complicated. It just makes that process incredibly quick. Or
Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying
incredibly quick, but quicker and less more painless.
Yeah, I'm not even disparaging prenups because they can be good for both parties if they're done with a truly neutral third party involved, and with everyone having good intentions and stuff. But like they do tend to help the person with more money just in general.
Well, it's not so much. It's what do you mean by help? It's I would say it's their money. It's not helping them by. It's like.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, it's like the thing with opportunity cost. What's going to happen with versus without it? Without it, especially in a no-fault state, it's just going to split 50-50. So they're essentially losing some of their own money. And so with a prenup, it helps them because they protect some of that money. I'm not saying that's wrong to do. I'm just saying put it out there that it does help the person more who has the more money.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly
it's not a bad thing to say that.
I guess I'm just taking
making less money.
I think it's just semantics. I'm not saying it's help. It's just semantics. I think I'm just hung up on it helps them more. I would say it's more prevents harm instead of helping because it's returning to
that's a form of helping.
The before state.
Yeah, I mean,
but like I said, that's just word choice.
Yeah, exactly, and that I mean, a form of helping is preventing harm. So like, yeah.
Okay. Whatever you say, George.
I can kind of
like if a doctor
gives
you a vaccine and prevents you from getting a disease, they're helping you.
Please.
And they're also preventing harm.
I don't want to. Oh my gosh. Okay. RJ, do you have points to add?
Like I can see where both people are coming from. Like, I feel like I don't know.
No, I'm not even saying he's wrong. That person has a right to protect their own money. I'm just saying, put it out there. Say it is what it. Call an apple. Say it is what it is. A prenup generally it gives more benefit to the person who has the more capital, the more assets.
Not only that, he's kind of like I don't know, and it could be just like a societal impression of it or whatever. But like things like prenups I can understand how he feels like it's like someone asking for a prenup is not fully invested in the relationship.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're planning for the exit on a like a marriage is supposed to be a contract of like till death do us part. So in theory you're not supposed to plan for an exit. Like I'm fully in support of divorcing, and I think that should be a thing to break up toxic marriages or marriages that have run their course. But like I think if you're going into it planning for a divorce, I can see why a pragmatic person would do it because, like she said, a lot of marriages end in divorce. But like, it's still a jump to go from that fact to be like, okay, I'm gonna plan for my own divorce.
Yeah,
I
understand prenups, like on the like because it's the only way to essentially do that. Like, it's the like. Otherwise, you're going to have to go to divorce court. You like, who knows what's going to happen with like assets or whatever, and it's like, especially if you're the one making most of the money, that it's like I understand wanting prenups from her perspective.
Yeah, it comes down to not to jump back to the other questions, but it's kind of an optics thing, at least in my mind, or it's like to this person, it's like, oh, they're planning for like they're not that invested, but
they're not invested or they don't trust.
Yeah, it's a lack of trust. It's like, but it's you got to understand, like relationships and people change over time. It's not about that. Like you can be like in the best relationship at like in the present, and it's like things change and people change, and like
but
it's like insurance. It's like why not be prepared for the worst? Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. You lose nothing by getting a prenup. Well, in the present,
you don't lose anything tangible, but you can lose like respect or whatever from your partner. But like,
I think if you're in a healthy relationship where you already trust each other, I think that you can avoid that. But it sounds like if they're already on the rocks, it might make it worse.
Yeah.
well, I think it's also just different for different people. Like the
Yeah.
thing is, like you say, like, oh, why not plan for it? But it's like that's the thing. Not like they're like I don't know the exact numbers, so I don't want to quote any percentage, but like I would guess at least half of marriages don't have a prenup. So it's like clearly, um, people do find benefit in not having them because a good chunk of them may just
Do
like
we know if it
not have the resources or the awareness to have a
I
prenup.
wonder
But,
what the
does it
stats
cost
are
anything to get
on.
one?
I
well,
don't think
like
so.
if you have one put together
I think
well,
they're
you would probably have a lawyer involved. So
Yeah,
yeah, I would guess
that's
so.
true.
Do we know like what? Okay, I guess yeah. I don't
wonder.
know if that's maybe that's the barrier.
Mm-hmm.
That
Sorry,
could be
an
part of
additional
the
barrier.
barrier.
Yeah, definitely.
I think, like, just the way society treats and views marriage, that a
3%.
prenup is kind of a
3% of
it's
respondents.
like a social faux pas.
3% of respondents who are married or engaged reported having signed a prenuptial agreement. So they are rare, and I think it's like the same thing you were talking about with the optics of dating someone younger. It's like there's nothing tangible you lose, but there's definitely optics of signing a prenup. They're also associated with like rich people who have like trophy wives and shit like that.
And when you're doing when it's about a relationship, and the optics to other people might not matter that much, but like when you're like, can you sign a prenup? That's like optics to the other person that you're in a relationship with. I think that could theoretically turn a healthy relationship into an unhealthy relationship.
And because it's basically safeguarding your assets, if there's a clearly more successful person in the relationship, and then they come to the other person who's less successful, like obviously less successful, like say it's like, I don't know, just to paint an extreme, say it's like an NFL quarterback dating a waitress, and then that NFL quarterback says to the waitress, I want you to sign a prenuptial agreement. Well, then the unspoken message there to that waitress could easily be like, oh, you think I'm just in this relationship for your money, that's why you're trying to protect your money, because you think I'm only in this for your money.
Yeah. So should prenups be normalized?
Yeah, that's the question.
I
also really wonder at the statistics of how well marriages do with prenups. Like what's the
that's interesting.
What's the divorce rate of marriages that began with prenups, and is it compared to non prenup marriages?
Oh, just tell me the numbers at the top of the article. I don't want to have to read a whole article.
Sorry, what number are you actually? I was reading it. I was trying to figure out a little bit more about the barriers. What was your specific question?
According to the Virgil law firm, the Virgil law firm, it says prenuptial agreements are associated with a number of negative feelings and consequences. With such negative connotation, it is unsurprising that many believe that signing a prenuptial agreement will increase their likelihood of divorce. However, research shows that the act of signing a prenup is not the indicative factor. Rather, the manner in which each spouse views the prenup is actually a more consistent factor in a couple's ability to remain married.
Yeah, which is kind of what this question is about. Is like one person wants it and the other person doesn't. So that's bad. Is where that is bad.
Yeah. But if you're both like, that's kind of what we said at the beginning. It's like if you both go into it with a third party who's neutral and with good intentions, then prenuptial agreements can be good. but it's like they can also be used as a tool to just dangle your wealth over someone. You know what I mean? Like, especially if the prenuptial agreement is like done in a biased way.
Well, you both have to agree to
if
it.
prenups.
Well,
if
yeah,
prenups
but
were,
like people have falsely confessed to crimes they didn't committed. Like, you can manipulate people to sign stuff that is against their best interest.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if you're putting like your like romantic relationship on the line about it.
Yeah, people are emotional. A lot of people are emotional when it comes to their relationship. They're not pragmatic and logical.
Uh-huh.
I would still say that you are more pragmatic and logical when you're at the point where you're creating the prenup than at the point where you're divorcing.
I mean,
Yeah.
sure, but I don't. It's
You're still not more pragmatic or logical than normal. I would say you're still less pragmatic and logical.
I mean, if you, I don't, that doesn't really make sense because if you weren't in a relationship, is that when you're the most pragmatic and logical? But then you're not signing anything.
When you're not dealing with relationship stuff is when you're the most pragmatic and logical.
But then the whole prenup would necessitate being in a relationship. Okay, I think we're getting too into the weeds here.
Yeah.
All right. How do we help this person? You clearly have differing opinions about it. You need to, if you have such an issue with it, then that should probably tell you that you are not right for each other. You shouldn't be trying to convince somebody one way or the other about this sort of thing. Either you're both on board or it's a bad idea all over. The relationship is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Or not so much a bad idea of like you got to communicate your goals better to figure out if it's going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I think if you're going into a prenuptial agreement like an argument, there's a 0% chance that marriage works out.
It's rough.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to me like either of you are coming at this relationship from a positive or healthy place. So I think you should just axe it.
It sounds like she's had it rough. So I totally get where she's coming from.
Yeah.
She's like,
I get where both of them are coming from.
She's being family issues up the wazoo. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I get where both of them are coming from. I just don't think they're that compatible.
Yeah. I don't think she's being. I don't think she's like in the wrong asking for a prenup.
No.
Like, yeah.
I don't.
Like,
I don't think she's in the wrong. So I didn't mean to come.
Maybe you can split up. Maybe this isn't as a big deal to the asker as we're interpreting it as, and
maybe they are fine with it. Maybe they're just asking, is this a red flag? Is she not that invested?
Yeah.
No, she's just been burned really badly in the past.
Yeah. And she's very pragmatic and logical.
It on its own is not a red flag.
Yeah.
And it's a red flag if you continue to have an issue, if you continue to disagree with it.
Yeah. And I do
for the relationship, not for any one individual.
Yeah. And I do want to say earlier, I didn't mean to make it sound like I was making the take that like prenups are only ever used as like, you know, as like a tool to like lord over someone and they're only ever bad. Like, I think she's well within her rights to protect her assets, especially considering, like you said, how much she's been burned in the past. I just don't think, like anything, they're not a blanket good or bad. Like almost anything, they can be used poorly or for good.
Sounds kind of like a force multiplier.
Yeah.
I think generally the worst thing about them is the optics of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that societally could be changed.
I agree.
But yeah.
All right. Do we want to do corrections and recs real quick, or do we want to cut it early because we're so late?
We could do them real fast.
Okay. I don't have a correction.
I just want to hear.
I'm gonna
Ryobii talk
I'm gonna
about the
save my
fourth
correction. Actually, I'll save my correction.
Okay.
But my vocab word is we did key last week, so I incorporated a word that had key in it.
All right.
So this is a different kanji attached to the key kanji, and then that together that makes genki, which is literally origin plus energy, and together that means health. The
I
origin of your
used
energy is
key,
your
and I didn't
body.
connect it to key like
Interesting.
energy.
Yeah,
I connected it to key like opening a door.
I literally explained like ki, chi, and martial arts and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot what you said last week because I was
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like did I was like I thought we were pretty clear. You guys seemed pretty understanding like when we talked about it last.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. It was just like brain, just
No, yeah,
scrambled.
we've been going for too long.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
just like this is where it's pretty common. If you want to say, you know, how it's like, oh, how you doing? Como estás? Like sort of thing. Like if this is a genki desu ka is like health.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like are you good? How are you doing?
Interesting.
Are you well? Are you well is probably the most accurate. All right,
Interesting.
we kind of did songs a bunch, but song, George?
Yeah. This is Lee by Mogwai and Zonderlin. I don't have much to say about this. It's just a real nice dancey tune. So just pop it in, dance to it, have a vibe.
Can you spell that?
I put a link.
Got it.
It's Lee. It's just Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
My fact, and correct me if I've said this fact before, but the fastest way to go from like point A to point B using gravity, and assuming you're not just like dropping like straight on to point B, is not like a straight line.
Interesting.
Do you mean from like a high elevation to a low elevation? You mean you have to go going at an angle does better?
Yeah, well, it's not like if you have point A and point B and they're like if the line between them is a 45-degree angle, that is not the fastest way to
get between those 2 points.
To get between those 2 points using gravity. There's I forget what the specific shape is, but there's a specific shape that's like
you want it to like bow, kind of.
Yeah, you want it to bow. You want it to start off steep,
and then curve out.
Yeah, and then curve
go more
out.
horizontal.
Because like you get enough speed going out, going down faster that it more than makes up for the fact that you're not actually traveling like forward distance.
Yeah,
I see.
It's like how you want to go down and then straight in Apex. You don't want to just go like kind of down.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting how you can the whole like building your speed and then transitioning it into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that, honestly, I guess that just makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
Good fact. No, you haven't said that before.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that.
But it's just like an interesting like.
I'm like falling asleep.
Kind of like where the shortest point between maybe not the shortest distance, but the shortest like time between 2 points is not a straight line. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, any final thoughts? We're gonna call it a night here.
Nothing. I can't wait till next week.
All right, we'll be back next week, same day, same time, Thursdays every week, unless we say or don't say.
Unless we
sometimes
goof.
we just goof and don't even say that we're not doing it. But I was gonna start maybe using the what are they called? Like the community post things on YouTube more to be like, hey.
Yeah, because we have access to that now.
Yeah. So maybe we'll start using that.
It was only channels of a certain size previously, but now that's everybody.
Nope.
What do you think of swapping to Tuesdays?
Interesting.
We should probably talk about that off stream.
Yeah. Not at the
All
end
right.
of the podcast.
Maybe swapping to the Tuesdays in the future.
Maybe.
We'll find out.
All right.
Yeah, maybe if we next episode's on Tuesday, you'll know how that went. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Peace.